you ready?
This is the D-Generation CliX podcast with your hosts,
Who is Ravage?
Ryan Ruttman,
Ravage.
Hand me that bottle cap.
Miles Kane,
Hand me that paperclip. Grab that twine. Gun wrapper.
Daniel Schwab,
We
best friends,
Asgard to mouth.
and Pete.
'Cause I'm just me.
Welcome back to the D-Generation CliX podcast. I'm your host Ryan, and with me as always are Miles, Dan, and Pete, and this is our episode 50. Miles, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I had a pretty good weekend. There's one thing it was hard for me to find. I was able to actually get a new hero this weekend, which was awesome. I feel his love, the joy that he passed along. Yeah.
Did what?
My son just came in and just completely disrupted my train of thought. But no, I was able to get a new hero this weekend. The feeling was everywhere, it was all around us. It lives inside the hearts of you and me. And now it was time for him to make our country strong. Jeremy got third place and got the Ultra Chase. It was truly a remarkable moment. I think it's probably the most iconic moment in probably American history since Lex Luger beat Yokozuna by countout and was trotted along at SummerSlam 93.
Ooh, that was big.
Very iconic. Yeah, and then today, January 28th, because I'm trying to do these new history things. January 28th, 1992 was interesting because the Wild Pack, which from X-Force number 8 came out, and that introduced us to Grizzly and Domino. And it just so happened to be the same day that our very own Dan was born. So congratulations, Dan, on being born today in 1992. Happy birthday.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, Dan, happy birthday. How's your birthday week been?
I can't complain. So on Sunday, I pulled Thor and Ulysses Bloodstone in sealed, and then proceeded to pull Beta Ray Bill from winning prizing, which was awesome. And then I outdid myself yesterday because then I pulled Scarlet Witch at the other pre-release. So
Yeah, that's your year's luck right there, I think.
I'm pretty sure I burned through all my sealed luck at that point. Like, hey, we're gonna cut you some slack, but this is gonna be it. So.
Speaking about pulling chases at pre-releases, Pete, how was yours?
Well, I can't talk about my pre-release chase pull now, can I, Redman? Thanks for that. My week's been good, though.
It's a
Made
segue.
pre-release. We got big, you are a professional. We got a big week of things ordered here in the Peterson house showing up. I'm excited about that big CliX week. And, 50th episode, that's a milestone, much like young Daniel's birthday is a milestone. So happy birthday, young Daniel.
Thanks, Pete.
We actually had a fun Saturday. We did a family game day. We played, I think it was like 7 games, and everyone kind of won a few of them, and Christine ended up coming up on top. But even Madison, she won Uno, and then another game that we got the kids for Christmas, which was called 13 Beavers. Dan, are you familiar with 13 Beavers?
No, not that one.
Okay. It's a nice board game. It's like high or low with
Not
beavers.
one?
What's that, Miles?
He said not that one.
Oh, not that one.
Yeah.
I feel like Two Finger Dan's knows a thing or two about 13 Beavers.
Yeah. 100%. Zombievers.
And then, we got to do a couple pre-releases, so I wish my polls were a little better, but we'll get into the pre-releases later. We do have some info for Spider-Verse, so that is actually now getting moved up to the pre-releases, can start on February 26th, and release day is getting moved up to March 5th. And then we also got release date we got dates for the 2025 Rock Cup. So those were announced to be Wednesday, May 14th, and through Sunday, May 18th. Then this weekend, the King of New Orleans. This is the one that Dan and I are going to. So Saturday, February 1st is going to be the Supercharged Sealed 2v2. Sunday, February 2nd is 300 Modern. And then this is the first event you'll be able to get Compound Hulk and Zombie Scarlet Witch figures. Dan, do you want to tell us about Compound Hulk?
Yes, so Compound Hulk is 150 points. He is... He's got, what is it, 2 traits and a... Sorry. Technical difficulties here. So he's got 3 traits. So his first one is when Compound Hulk is KO'd by an attack before removing them from the game, you may generate up to 2 characters with Hulk in their name from your sideline on their last non-KO clicks, then heal them each 2 clicks. The total points of the generated characters must be equal to or less than Compound Hulk's point value. This game, those characters are not scored when KO'd Protected Pulse Wave. The second trait is the Gamma Power trait. This is a resurgence from AV60. It's Willpower, and then Compound Hulk's defense powers have Protected Outwit. And then his last one is Focus on Betty. Free, roll a d6, then choose a standard power of the resulting color. Compound Hulk can use the chosen power until your next turn. A 1 through 3 is red, and a 4 through 6 is green. He has improved movement, elevated, and destroys blocking. He's got the Avengers team ability, and he's got Avengers, Defenders, Fantastic Four, Hulkbusters, Brute, Scientist, and Soldier keywords. He is, like I said, 150 points. This guy's great.
Yeah, I think
his dial is a little weird, but he is a Hulk, so it makes a lot of sense. But
the coolest thing about him is that it doesn't have to be named Hulk. It's with Hulk in their name. So
Yes.
that opens up a ton of options, especially in Silver. Are there any ones that you've already started looking at?
Not in Modern, but Silver, definitely Immortal Hulk for sure.
Yeah, Immortal Hulk's a big one. The Prime Hulk would be a pretty crazy one to pull in and just heal him to top after he comes out.
Yeah, that would be cool.
The She-Hulk from Next Phase, also possible. Any of the Red Hulks. The Ingwenable Hulk is a really cool one. So yeah, I think I don't know if he's gonna have a place in Modern, but I think Silver, he's definitely an option.
I even like the Iconics Hulk because he has 2 stop clicks, and so if you put him on his last non-KO click and you heal him 2 clicks, he's on his second stop click. So
are you talking about
bad.
the one that came with Wolverine or?
Yeah, the one that came with Wolverine and Wendigo.
Okay. Or were you gonna say, Miles?
I think that there could be something still with Smash and Destroy coming out. So
that's a good point.
Look forward to it. Yeah, so I think that there still is something there, potentially. But no, Silver, there is a ton. And then all you need is the name Hulk. And so, yeah, I mean, getting that She-Hulk Wolverine, getting that the first appearance Wolverine Hulk, I think is really good. Yeah, there is a lot of Hulks.
You
With
could
people
even
with the name Hulk in it.
You could even do the Giant Hulk from Earth X. I don't know if that's necessarily good, but he is an option.
It's something you can do.
It's something you can do.
All right, and then also the Zombie Scarlet Witch that was more recently previewed. Pete, do you want to tell us about her?
I do. Zombie Scarlet Witch is mystical. Avengers, Zombie Horde, monster and mystical. Her real name is Wanda Maximoff. She has 2 traits. Undead, Hunger. When Zombie Scarlet Witch kills an opposing character after resolutions, heal her 1 click. That character at a point value greater than 50, heal her 3 clicks instead. And then she has Baba Yaga. When Zombie Scarlet Witch hits a single target with a range attack, after resolutions, place the hit character adjacent to her, and she may make a close attack. She has 5 range. She is single target flight. She's 9 clicks long. She starts with running shot, precision strike, and a special defensive power. Super senses at the end of your turn generate to 4 blocking terrain markers within range and squares not adjacent to each other at the beginning of your next turn to remove them. That's called Trapped in the Basement. She gains that power again in her last 2 clicks. In the middle of her dial, she does lose some movement and attack, but it does come back on click 5, 8, and 9. So very cool figure. very, very cool version of Scarlet Witch. I'm looking forward to picking one up or getting one and playing it. So
Yeah, the only thing I think I touched on this before is that I was liking these zombies having those 3 clicks that they turn to. I forget what the did someone have a reason for that? Why she didn't do that? Different type of zombie or
What?
something?
I'm guessing just because it's from the Disney Plus series versus she's not like the typical Marvel zombie like the Wolverine counterpart that we have right now, where he has the zombie virus clicks. So because that's what because she gets the zombie horde keyword versus zombie Wolverine has the Z virus.
Okay.
yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's just the source material.
Yeah, the being able to start that super senses power that also lets you generate the 4 blocking tray markers is really cool. I think she's pretty close up there with Black Adam as far as playability, ways to heal.
Yeah, I like her with with probably like the health cycle potentially.
Okay.
Even with Cathan, 'cause, she'll be able to make 2 attacks if it's done right. So that way she'll be able to heal back to her starting click. So
Oh, I guess I'd want her on I'd probably put her if I was gonna do a bike, it'd be the motorcycle. I think for the improved movement characters and reflexes. Because if you're gonna pull somebody adjacent, I don't want you to be able to hit me that easily.
well, no, that's why with Cathan in the health cycle, she's gonna have a 10 speed hypersonic speed, and so 10 for 3, so 13 square reach, and so it's not gonna be like made for an alpha. And also give her what energy shield deflection, so then that'll give her a 21 defense from range.
Yeah, and
Well,
also
yeah, I just mean
too,
because
you can choose where you end and then place them adjacent after, so that health cycle might be the play. But I do like being able to protect yourself with the close attack if you can't KO what you bring to you.
that's more or less what I was thinking. Because that 3 damage top dial, like it's not that she's bad. I just if I'm pulling somebody next to me, I don't want just a flat 18. I guess.
No, but what you're also looking at too is that you're going to be able to get another attacker. There's a lot of low point attackers that's going to be able to follow up and KO something that she weakened, even if it is just precision strike for 4 damage, 12
Yeah.
for 4 if you have Chthon on there. So I think it's more of like a yo-yo type alpha where you're bringing them to you, like a reverse alpha essentially.
Yeah, I like
You're
her a
going for
lot.
the kill block. Yeah.
And then, so if you can't make it to the King of New Orleans, the next event those two are going to be available is at Champion Clicks Open in Orlando, Florida, early March. But New Orleans, we will be streaming live on our YouTube channel all weekend, so head on over to there and subscribe if you can. You'll see when we go live. Then Kenosha, our Icy Regional, that is at Coliseum Games. That is Saturday, February 15th. We're already up to 24 registered, so if you plan on coming and playing in the 300 Modern event, please register. We also have BRs going on as soon as there are 4 players and want to play. And then at our event specifically, we're going to give away an extra Black Adam and a Sky Cycle Hawkeye through a raffle. So to get those raffle tickets, you just have to play in BRs. Every one that you play in, first gets 4, second place gets 3, third place gets 2, and then fourth place gets 1. So if you don't feel like you can match up and have a chance at getting one of the top 2 Black Adam prizes, there's another opportunity to get them that way. So that was a cool little addition, I think, that we're doing that no one else is. And then we do have Pete with...
What would be fun?
Hello, friends. It's the people segment, the Bookwood Report. This week was a big week for our favorite local tryhard. He started off with the Madam Web Legacy after all of the Spider-Man spoilers. Then he added in TV Spider-Man after more additional Spider-Man spoilers. Then he got Spider-Girl, so we're going strong with the spiders. He did purchase a blueberry pie. And then he ended up picking up quite a bit here of Chase Scarlet Witch, Thor with Mjolnir and One Shot, Beta Ray Bill with Stormbreaker and One Shot, Prime Iron Man and Cosmic Rider. And I'd like to report that I did actually match up with Mr. Bookwood and Sealed. Redmond, did you play him, or Dan, did you play him yesterday?
I did not.
I
no.
did not either.
Yeah, Bookwood and I had a game. It's a pretty good game. I have to be honest with you. I probably should have lost it, but he had a couple of critical misplays with his Prime Iron Man, and Agatha was able to overcome.
Classic Bookwood.
So Yeah, yeah. It was more his misplacement than me really playing well. But win's a win. They don't ask how, they just ask how many. That's your Bookwood report.
All right. Then we only actually had one event happen over the weekend, so that was just one Icy Regional, and that was at the Sci-Fi Factory in Texas. So this is, since it is the only one that happened, and there was 28 players, we'll probably just go over the top 16 instead of the top 8, and that is going to start off with Mark Wright. So Mark Wright played Rule overall, went 2 and 3, 650 points. It was 200-point Kong with the Avatar of Gaia, the 048 Ghost Rider, and then Jennifer Kale at 30 points with Beetlejuice on the sideline with Cathan, Gaia, Ghost Rider 001, Poseidon, and Reverse Flash. And then, of course, Heart-Shaped Herb as well. So, yeah, this is, I think, going to be a pretty common staple in Modern for quite a while, the Kong with Gaia. I have been still seeing, I think, a lot of different options as far as the other 100 points.
I'm not sure I can agree with you that I think this is actually going to be one of the last events that we're going to see Kong Gaia Herb because of Collector Trove bringing in the Bloodstone. I think that's going to really hamper this build from doing good because he's not going to be able to heal, period. Like, I understand he can kill whoever has it, but there's a figure that has a pretty much, what, a 66% chance to only have one damage taken no matter what. That's going to be having it. And plus he has a rollout. So yeah, I really think that this is like the swan song for right now of 200, 300 point Kong, especially with Gaia. 200 point Kong, maybe, just because you're going to have 100 points to work with. But yeah, I think Bloodstone really hampers this team.
Really? So you think that we're going to see less of Kong soon?
No, I'm not going to say we're going to see less of Kong. I'm saying that people are still going to try it, but I don't think the tentpole Kong that's been placing so high, so consistently, not being able to heal off of the Gaia, or for instance, also with the herb, I think it's a hurt. I think 50 point Kong is still going to be seen. It's just going to be hard to really play the Kongs without the healing, because like that's what's really huge is that you might be able to get him to a stop click, but he's healing. So I think Bloodstone's going to really hamper these tent poles. I still think they're going to be good, and it's going to be depending on who you give the Bloodstone to. I think if you give it to anyone besides Ulysses, it's going to be, the team will be able to be just fine. But Ulysses has that where if you roll at least a 3, he's either just taking one unavoidable, and then if you roll a 5 or 6, he heals instead.
6, I think.
Yeah. I think it's 5,
Is it just
6.
Is it 5 and 6?
Yeah, so like that's
it's
going to make
5.
it really hard for Kong to kill him. I mean, outside of, obviously he rolls a 1 or 2, but yeah, you have a really good chance of surviving a double action Kong onslaught if you have Ulysses on your team.
Yeah, 1 and 2 is he takes damage normally. 3 through 5 he takes 1 unavoidable damage instead, and 6 is heal in 1 click instead.
Yeah, so like he'll take two damage instead because it's gonna be an instead of. So yeah.
Is there any other characters that can take that Bloodstone, like something like Gambit does, from the same set? I think there's like
Well, you're gonna have USB arrow,
too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have stuff like that. But there's also one shots that let you protect it. If I believe, isn't there one that like lets you equip it or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're gonna have to do that in order to do it. Yeah, but the 300 point Kong, like that's not gonna work. The 300 point Kong, it's hard. You're gonna get two actions, but like you're not gonna be able to heal, and so the Cathan Kong is just gonna be dead because you're not gonna be able to heal.
Yeah, I agree. 300-point Kong is probably going to be gone, but I think there's enough points with that extra 100 that you can have answers for Bloodstone.
Kong, we're just going to see a little bit less. I think that's because it's going to be a little bit harder to get it to work because you're not going to be able to heal. So yeah, it's going to be figuring out like what is his support going to look like. But yeah, I think 300 point Kong, Cathan and Gaia is definitely. I don't really see that being viable anymore with Collector's Trove.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, want to take us to 15th place?
Yes, and in 15th place, we have Fuck Matt Donham. I love saying that. Love you, Matt. He went 3-2 and got in 15th with Chaos. Don't give me a toss. He decided to play a ruler theme with Potato Chaos King, so that's Chaos King at 250. The Legacy Panther with a tomb, and then Legacy Starro. And his sideline was a tomb, Michael Keaton, and Reverse Flash. He had the herb, phone booth, and vibranium on his for his objects.
No, he didn't make cut.
I've actually never seen this figure played.
He's so much
but
fun.
I mean, it was a winning record. So, yeah, he went 3-2. So I would call that a success. I mean, with 28 people, it's hard. Like, even 3-2s, it's gonna be hard to make cut because you're gonna need to just score a ton of points, even with 3-2. So it makes sense.
He only unfortunately scored 300 points though overall.
Yeah, so it's almost felt like almost like the way the old legacy apocalypse teams were, where they were just barely scraping by, hoping to get all that. I've never played Chaos King, so I can only like theory on how it works. So I don't know if you guys have played against it or tested with him.
He's a ton of fun. I didn't really think of putting him at 250 on the modern field, but he is a lot of fun.
I think the biggest thing that hurts him is that you have to play the Chair Panther for 30 points so that he can use his free, because if Beetlejuice gets out on him, he's not doing what makes him the Chaos King at all. He's literally just what's printed on his dial, and that's it then. So if you're going to do this, you have to play the Chair Panther, and that only leaves you with those extra 20 points. So I think that this is just a build that's hindered by the Beetlejuice existence. But he is a lot of fun to play. We, I think most of us have actually done a full point Chaos King at least once at our local shop. He's good. All right, how about 14th place?
Josu Talamantes?
I think it's Josue.
Josue? Oh, sorry. I wasn't sure where I was going with that.
It's a good try.
He's got a mystical theme. I'm just a chill guy, so he's got Keaton at 100, main force. Peacemaker's helmet, a King of Hell, Ghost Rider, and with Bucky's arm. 50-point Kong, Death Metal One Room with the motorcycle, and the sideline is Cathan, Ghost Rider, Poseidon, and then his objects was the heart-shaped herb. And that's it. Full point Keaton right for you.
Is this the first one that we've seen at an Icy Regional?
Yeah, I think so.
Main force, yeah. I believe so.
And
nope, I take that back. No, Florida had one. He went 1-2 with him and 200-point Kong.
That's right. Okay.
That's right.
And then,
but yeah, it's not scoring a lot of points. Like, you're stopping your opponents from doing much, but yeah, it's not scoring a lot of points, even when it gets 3-2. So,
I don't think his he built the team well though. None of them have free actions.
It's a good team. Yeah.
And then Peacemaker's helmet, you can still do that for free because it's Beetlejuice. So, all right. What do we got next? Modern Mystical.
Next is David Way with Modern Mystical. So we have Ghost Rider with Bucky's arm, the 048, Man Thing. We have Kong with Avatar of Khonshu. We have Brother Voodoo. Oh, this is basically this is really similar to the winning build from Worlds. And then Madison at 20 points. Sideline is Bast. Oh, sorry, because Brother Voodoo has Bast on him. Michael Keaton, the 003 Blade. And the 100 Blade, the release day. And then Khonshu and Werewolf by Night, this is the main set one, the uncommon. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what was different from the World's build.
Well, they wouldn't have had Bast.
Or Madison.
Well, yeah, and
I don't think Ghost Rider wasn't on there. Was Ghost Rider on the winning? But
No.
I don't remember Ghost Rider on his team.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah.
It was Man Thing and Kong.
A few things that rotated. There was Daredevil on there as well, and I believe there's one or two things that rotated. MOE swap.
I think it was the MOE. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, MOE swap and Daredevil, I believe.
No, take something that works and adjust it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is good. Like it's very, and it's a little more defensive, but it's still like very good. So.
Giving Brother Voodoo Outwit that sees through characters is really good, so I do like that addition, and I like seeing Brother Voodoo get some more play.
Yeah, he's good stuff. So I don't see why he wouldn't pick up a little pace there. But yeah, no, it's good.
Then in 12th place, we have Charles Garst with I Guess This Will Do. It has the Prime Colossus with the motorcycle, the Legacy Starro at 80 points with Avatar of Khonshu on him, Perdegaton at 40 points, the Chair Panther, Jennifer Kale Legacy, and then a Legacy Daredevil at 10 points. He went, let's see, 3 and 2.
With the barrel.
Oh, with the barrel. And the heart-shaped herb and the phone booth. I think it's going to honestly be interesting to see what 3 items people are starting to pick, because there are definitely some good options now.
Yeah.
I think the herb's getting replaced just because of the Bloodstone.
I could see that, because
So I think that's going to help them along too with the other objects. I think Vibranium is being, I think that's the one thing that people aren't utilizing the Legacy Panther that I've noticed. I see a few teams are, but how important that free, you remove a Vibranium token and then you just remove an action token from a friendly character. Like that can just keep that's full map. So I could see the Vibranium potentially taking the herb's place more so on more builds.
yeah, if the Bloodstone's just everywhere.
I think you still put the vibranium on there, or the herb on there. I mean, the Bloodstone's gonna see play, but you're gonna have matchups where people don't play it too. So having the herb is just huge.
Yeah, but so it'd be like, but I think the Vibranium, I guess the phone booth is where it's going to be, and then Nifty Barrel. Obviously, people aren't going to play that, but yeah, no, herb is still playable, but yeah, you have to be prepared for that.
I think it's going to come
Yeah,
down
for that
to
Bloodstone.
yeah, it's just hard to not play that herb though. I think that it comes down to either phone booth or vibranium, depending on what your build is. But I'm looking forward to seeing more stuff like this, more options. How about 11th place?
In 11th, we have Marcus Zapata with unnamed team. He scored 650 points, 3 and 2. His team was unthemed. He had Camo with Hell Cycle, King Arthur at 80 with the Broadsword construct, Kong at 50, and then Masters of Time Harley Quinn Chase with the Avatar of Taweret with Ares, Keaton, Cathan, Taweret, and Treasure Chest on his sideline, and the barrel was his object. Camo's starting to see some play. That's nice.
He's still so good.
He is. He's amazing.
What is it Harley that's getting him off theme?
No, Arthur. Oh yeah,
Yes.
Arthur's got ruler. So yeah, Harley is the one that breaks. Yep.
Interesting. You would think that you would do. What does Camo lose with Beetlejuice? Just his free bystander.
Well, no, he generates his bystander. They just can't free. He just can't free move them.
Yeah, the thing it
That's
does.
it.
That's what it can't do. But if you put
Yeah.
the health cycle on him, yeah, he can still do that cool stuff. And then, is he losing Perplex with King Arthur, Kong's Charge Quake, and you can't running shot Pulse Wave. You'd have to just stand still with Harley, which isn't that big of a deal. And you can't outwit with Taweret. Yeah, if you do, what do you guys think? Chair Panther or Harley Quinn?
Chair Panther.
Yeah.
If you can get a hold of it,
Yeah, that's the thing too. And the reason why I say that is because I think Camo, that free movement with the shark and then attack is huge. Like that shark he can win you a game. Yeah.
And
I've
like
done disgusting things with that shark. I know all about it.
And then, like you just mentioned too, being able to remove a token when he's fully tokened out, that's big.
Yeah, because
Because
if you miss willpower, it's like whoa, and then you're like, all right, we'll just have the shark for free or whatever. You can go ahead and have the shark charge and destroy one of those vibraniums, and then you can still have him free and move his full speed and make an attack.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a vibranium, you're able to do that. So yeah, it's real good for him to farm those too.
And then that would still leave him with an extra 10 points. So. All right, how about 10th place, Dan?
All right, we have Jacob Pratt with 300 Modern Colossus Man-Thing. So we have Colossus Prime with Bucky's arm. We have Butterfly. We have Man-Thing. We have Death Metal Wonder Woman, Miles Morales, Perdegaton, and Timebreaker. The figure, not the Pog. Sideline consists of Ace, Keaton, Chthon, the A side Elsa Bloodstone from next phase, Major Logan, and the Spider-Man that swaps out for Miles Morales. So your butterfly swaps are Ace, Elsa, and Major Logan. Interesting. It's very offensive. So, but you also have some.
Well,
some...
it's a little defensive too. Like that Miles Morales
Yep.
is now going to give per Degaton. He's going to be 3 through 6 super senses if he copies Wonder Woman. Colossus is now going to be just a regular super senses.
Well, he's next.
So
If he's next to
and then
Miles, obviously.
yeah, of course, yeah. So you can build it up as a defense, and then you also have Major Logan that's going to get even more of those rollouts. So it can, take in stuff too, which is nice.
Yeah, there's some potential there for sure, depending on how the teams go out. That Timebreaker and Colossus. Actually, you know what? Colossus, I'm surprised we're not seeing more of. He was like the prime. I do like that people are playing.
Oh,
more
he's
things.
being. If you look at the circuit, he's easily the top prime
top
for
prime,
He's all over the place.
for Icy Regionals. Because I think there's been 80. Let's see, 28, 21, 11. So I think there's been almost 80 teams. And so if you go to the meta for that, Colossus is 6th. So Colossus is on 12 teams. 12 of those teams is the most played prime. So he's the 6th most played figure. And then the next closest prime is going to be Black Panther on 5 teams with number 17. And then Reverse Flash is on 5 teams.
Okay. Always at 80 points.
So yeah, he's more than doubled.
No one's venturing into 60 points yet, right?
I don't think so. No, it's not. It just says 80/60. So if somebody has him on the main force.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, he's 12 and the second closest prime is 5. So he's more than double, played more than twice as much as the next closest primes.
Okay. All right. How about in 9th place?
Dustin Cedars with Kevin. He was 5-0, so he must have dropped because that doesn't make any sense to me. Because he had about 1,080 points.
I was following it and I asked because apparently he had a concert to go to that he
he was having a day.
So, yes.
Prime
that's
Rogue.
why he played Rogue just to have fun. So
yeah, Prime Rogue with Bucky's arm, Kevin, and Timebreaker. Sideline was Ares, Keaton, Poseidon, Zeus, and the treasure chest. So great showing. Hope it was a good concert.
yeah, I don't know if he was expecting to do that good because that's why he knew he was going to go to a concert. So he's like, I'll just play a tent pole, and then Prime Rogue decided to show out.
Yeah,
I thought she was going to win the event, and then when I saw, I'm like, what's going on here? So I reached out and asked a bunch of people that were there. I'm like, what's going on? This makes no sense.
Yeah, that's the best I've seen Prime Rogue perform in an event. Would have been interesting to see how far he could have gone. All right, that'll bring us to... All right, did you guys want to say anything else about that? No, it was just... it was Prime Rogue doing good.
Yeah, it's just cool to see her doing good. That's it.
Yeah. All right, then that'll bring us to top cut. So 8th place is Kenny Minks, whose personal record against me is 0-2, hoping after this weekend to move to 0-3 or 0-4 if we meet up both days. Kenny played Ridin' Dirty with the Prime Colossus and Motorcycle, Butterfly, Hidari Yao with the Motorcycle, Chair Panther, the Super Rare Panther with Avatar of Khonshu, and then also Chair Panther. Ruler theme, his sideline was Ace, Beetlejuice, Elsa Bloodstone, 47A, Khonshu, Major Logan, and Myrn. Objects were heart-shaped herb, phone booth, and vibranium. No traffic barrel. So I think...
That's why he's an 8th.
No traffic barrel. Was there something?
No, it's 100%. Yeah, in top 8, he lost a 300-point Kong.
Oh yeah,
that barrel would have stopped Kong on most maps. So I think I can confidently say that I think barrel.
Yep. What would you have taken off? Phone booth, heart-shaped herb, or vibranium?
Well, I would take off. You're gonna need really the vibranium. I mean, I guess you're gonna have him carry the heart-shaped herb, so you're gonna take off the phone booth, and then so you're gonna have to take off the motorcycle to give him something else to be able to get that. I'd probably take off the motorcycle from him and give him the. I guess we're gonna give him the Bucky's arm. That's gonna leave 10 points, and so you're gonna play that with leaving 5 points. And then you just play Scott Crampton Pog so that way Hidari Yao can hold the Scott Crampton Pog and she's gonna be doing more damage, I guess. So she'll be doing 4 to a target, and yeah. So
Put something on.
Bear just made his team better.
Put something on Chair Panther too.
Well, there's only 5 points left, so I don't think there's enough to really equip for 5 points currently, besides the arm.
Well, well, I guess if he has a tomb, he could do that as a choice, but I know his sideline is already full, so.
Yeah, that's right. All right, how about top 7?
So that.
And in top 7, in 7th place, we have Antonio Garcia with Icy Kong going 4-2, and he is the one.
This is really his team. He just played Kong and wow. Okay.
Yes, yeah, he just played. Yeah, there's you're gonna see there's another one too. So yeah, so he just played Kong, and Kong with Cathan and Heart Shaped Herb. I mean, like I said, yeah, 300-point Kong is a thing right now. So it's cool to see. Like I know people think that that's dumb, but it's a newer player friendly piece. I think that it can win you games in the meta, but I don't think it really breaks the meta because there is answers to it. So I just think he's a really good like one-man army. I think this might be a crazy opinion, but I think he's probably the healthiest tent pole that we've had. 300-point figure.
I'm not even like mad about it. It's just like you got to be really aggressive then because you just have the heart-shaped herb. So you're taking if you're attacking twice a turn, you're taking 2 damage from Cathan. So.
Well, so he went 4-1 heading into cut. So.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, because he ended 4-2, ending in top 8. So his only loss, it looks like, was to Dustin round 5. So so him and Dustin were playing for the final undefeated going into top 8.
Okay.
So yeah, he piloted it pretty well.
And that's without Gaia on him too. Imagine if he had Gaia.
Yeah, that
more.
was exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
All right, how about 6th place, Dan?
6th place is Derek Lair with the Man of Steel. So we have Unthemed, so this is the starter Superman at 75 with motorcycle. Deadpool Hitmonkey with the trick arrows. Diana with the Hell Cycle. Space Ghost at 30. Miles Morales. And Prodegaton with Avatar of Tawret. Sideline consists of Ares, Michael Keaton. Reverse Flash. The Spider-Man to swap in from Miles. The Iconics Black Suit Superman and Tawret. Is it just hypersonic? No, because he's got the motorcycle, so is he just doing the free move and then reflexes?
Probably.
I'm not too sure, but I figured if he had the charge, you'd be able to charge with senses.
Yeah.
But now he ignores characters and he just has free moves so that he can attack again.
Yeah, so yeah, it just depends. I'm not too sure what you're doing there because I see that he's trying to build up for the 3 through 6 senses, potentially 2 through 6. So that's one reason why I would think the super senses. Because never mind, he doesn't have butterfly into what's his name? So yeah, he's gonna be 3 through 6s with Prodegaton, Space Ghost, and Diana.
Oh yeah. If they're all next to each other, yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But you're really going to be putting those up there because I'm betting that it has to be that free one move because he has to be TKing Diana to go and hit and then bring over Superman.
Yeah, because
who's also going to get signed up. So you're just going to be able to. Yeah. So you're going to go ahead and just place Superman and then power action flurry. And then you can sidestep ignoring characters or move one characters, and then you can use Flurry as free. So he's going to be getting 5 attacks in, 1 range and 2 close attacks, it looks like.
Yeah.
I actually really like the Diana trick of giving him sidestep, too. That's actually great. Like, if she hits, then or makes an attack after. Oh, they just have to make an attack. That's even better.
Yeah, that's why they play her over Zola. But it's good to see that that there is Kryptonian figures being played and winning, but it's real weird because Austin's not one of those players. So
That is weird. Captain Krypton. Come on, Austin.
Do
yeah,
better.
no, he told me Kryptonian's dead and the Kryptonian's not good. So
He's just giving up on him?
yeah, he said he's done. He gave up.
Austin. Wow.
I think he's jealous that everyone else is winning besides him.
With Kryptonian pieces?
Yeah, everyone's winning with Kryptonian pieces except for him, and so like he's moving down the ladder of like how big of a Superman fan he is because he can't win with them and other people are.
He's the first one to quit, too, I think. So, yeah, he's just falling down those rungs. All right.
Yep.
How about 5th place?
Thomas Castile, All Your Bases Are Belong to Us, version 2. Pass theme. Kane Jefferson with the trick arrows. Despero, Zala Jor-El with the motorcycle. Reverse Flash with the broadsword. Green Man. Avatar of Khonshu. Per Degaton, Timebreaker. Sideline was Ares. Michael Keaton, Cathan, and Khonshu. And the objects were the barrel, coffin, and heart-shaped
You
herb.
cut off. Who had Khonshu?
I believe that was Green Man. Yeah. So, as it's been said many times by our own Miles Kane, past is there. Past is ready to go.
Pass is great.
Yeah, past is the future.
Just hoping to get the time breakers KO'd so that Jefferson can do the Jefferson bomb.
It is a solid strat with him. You can't because you can do the Zala Jor-El thing and just poof him over there, and then he just takes the power action. So
I'm surprised that he's not trying to KO stuff on his own though, like with a like an elevated terrain or something, and then TKing it from. Do time breakers have toughness? Yeah, they do. Okay.
Toughness.
you can just TK with
they have
the
toughness.
and you can TK the time breakers and just have then Despero just hold them.
Oh yeah, you can just KO him with that way. Okay, yeah, that's right. So per Degaton can just sacrifice time breakers for 5 points, and then you Jefferson bomb. That's a pretty good trick. I like that actually.
Yeah, because you've already got TK with Despero, so he can TK up Zala. So whenever you're ready, you just TK. I'm assuming hypersonics up because she's got what? She's got a 12 speed then. Because I'm assuming she's going charge and senses. She's getting there.
Yeah. And that came in, was it 5th place? Yeah, that's pretty neat. All right, how about 4th place? We got Callan Stevens. This is Texas champion CLX. He played the Prime Black Panther with Bucky's arm, Man-Thing with Avatar of Gaia, Queen Storm with the trick arrows, Shuri with the team up, the LE one or the organized play one with the Avatar of Khonshu, and then per Degaton at 20 points with the Avatar of Towerette. Sideline was Beetlejuice, Cathan, Gaia, Khonshu, Towerette, and Trigon. Trigon just for fun.
He's just there for funsies,
I think.
Yeah, it said no. That's that right there. That's big brain move, and like that's what you do. Like, yeah, same reason. Like when I played the non-prime Swamp Thing on my sideline just because. So yeah, it's
just because.
Yeah, just because. Just the intimidation factor of seeing Trigon on their sideline. I mean, it worked. They got top 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm surprised to see Queen Storm make it this far.
I mean, IT hindering is not something we get very often, and she's not bad for 50 points, and she can pick.
So she's giving Empower map wide because everyone is Wakanda. So Man-Thing gets empowered all the way across the map. So now he's hitting for 5.
No, she doesn't.
No,
she doesn't.
You got to pick the 033 Black Panther to make that work.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you said they have a friendly character named Black Panthers on the map. Okay. Yeah.
Nope.
I see it now. Okay.
But yeah, 6th range precision strike sees through hindering. That's not bad. So yeah, trick arrows on her, not bad. And otherwise, she already has Black Panther's got Black Panther to TA for the other people already too. So Miles, how close is this to the one that you had? Your build.
Let's go to
Everything
my
but
build.
Queen
I
Storm?
didn't have Queen Storm. It's pretty there. I'm checking it right now. The Honda Forever. So I had the ruler team. Yeah, mine wasn't a Wakanda theme. I had Prime Panther with Trick Arrows, Man Thing, Kong with Gaia, Wonder Woman, definitely Wonder Woman with a tomb, and Jennifer Kale. And I still had 15 points left, so I wasn't really finished with that. That was my Wakanda team. I did have one with Arnim Zola that I've been working around.
Okay.
This is actually pretty close to my team, except I swapped out. So I don't have Bucky's arm. I'm just waiting for the sword from the D&D cliX to put on Panther. Was it? I have the Notorious Harley at 25, and then I have the Roses of Red Ivy at 45 with the trick arrows. And what else was it?
Yeah, Dan's getting some play. He's seeing it. He's seeing the light. Man Thing and Ivy.
Well, the fact that Panther could bring him back after you sink a bunch of attacks in to kill him is wild.
Yeah, it's extremely good.
All right, that was 4th place, right?
Yeah, fourth.
Dan, do you want to take 3rd place?
Yes, we have Robert Williams with Kong Thea, which I think is, Kong at 300 with Avatar of Gaia, Sidelines Chthon, Gaia, and Reverse Flash. And you have the heart-shaped herb, phone booth, and a round platform, which... Oh, that's right, because it's not a effect terrain, so it's modern. I was like, wait, it's AV60, but that doesn't matter.
So I know, Miles, you were following this event a little bit more closely. What was he able to take out with 300-point Kong that was also in the top 8?
So he beat round 1. He beat first place. He lost to second place. Round 2, he played the King Jefferson team and lost to that. And then he beat another 300-point Kong, and then he beat Matt Donham. And then in top 8, he beat Kenny Minks before losing to the eventual winner.
Okay.
And top 4. So so even though he lost to the team that won round 1, or he beat the team in round 1 but lost to it in the top 4. But yeah, I mean, he took out in top 8. I mean, he took out Kenny, who was running that decent team, that King Jefferson team.
Yeah,
So and then Chaos King. So Chaos King versus 300-point Kong is Chaos King won, or Kong won that 290-0.
Okay. Yeah, nice job.
Oh, never mind. No, he did lose. Never mind. He lost. He lost the King Jefferson team. My bad. Wow.
Oh, he lost the King Jefferson team.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to go into the 2nd place team?
Yes. So 2nd place, we have currently my favorite player to follow. I love him every time I meet him. He's awesome to hang out with. Cody Manti, with his team, he went 5-3 with 1,845 points. He had the top points of the 28 players playing. Wakandan Panties. And definitely not copying from Miles. So he reached out after I won my event and asked me that he's been testing my team and if I had any tweaks or anything to help him. And so we changed it up a little bit after talking with him. So it's a little bit different than the team I played, but I still think it works. There's one more tweak that we're testing out right now to see if maybe Untheme might be the ticket. But it's Prime Swamp Thing with Khonshu, Man Thing with Gaia, Ivy with Trick Arrows, the team up card OP Shuri, Legacy Panther with a Tomb, Perdegaton, and then I had Wakandan Scientist, and I was telling him that I think there's better options. So we replaced her with the Lucas, PJ, and Scott Pog so we can get the Empower, and then the Ace Bystander. And the Ace Bystander has super strength, and so you can have him carry your barrel, you can have him carry your phone booth. So you can charge, pick up the phone booth, and then attack the Vibranium to get some tokens, like on turn 1 if you're going first, and then you can TK Ace back next to your team, so that way everyone has shape change that's adjacent to him. He had a Tomb, Keaton, Chthon, Gaia, Khonshu, and then he threw Midnight Angel on his sideline. It seemed to be doing really good. Yeah, this is only, I think, the second day that he really played it, because I think he started play testing it the day before. But I really think that Swamp Thing Prime isn't dead, but I think that Scientist is where you're really going to get this team to shine. So it was really cool to see this team played by an extremely good pilot and a good player like Cody in a bigger event outside of the Oregon, so we can see how it's going to do against a lot of teams. So I know the finals, shape change. His opponent made shape change and got a crit hit energy explosion. And I mean, this team's built to be together. So that's penetrating energy explosion for 3 damage. And not, that's with the knockback. Yeah, that's going to happen. So yeah, a few tweaks. I still think that it's a really good build. I mean, it's gotten the plant scientist, be it Wakanda build from me and Cody, or even the team from New Jersey, it's made 3 finals. Like the 3 teams that have played the Prime Swamp Thing with plants and scientists have been to 3 finals post Worlds. So yeah, that's good to see, and I'm really happy about it.
Yeah, it was a really cool team. Obviously, really strong. Congrats for taking it to second place.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him to do we're gonna figure out probably like a player spotlight, and then the player that won, Brandon Ortega. If anybody is able to get a hold of him, please. We're about to go over the team, but I need to hear from his mouth. Like, this is probably the biggest underdog story in entertainment, sports, and everything since Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson, and that is not hyperbole; it's fact.
Pete, do you want to go over first place?
I mean, a little hyperbole.
No. Read it and you'll see. What's the keyword?
Vehicle.
Oh, so
Unnamed
vehicle's
team.
better than Kryptonian. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that vehicle was better. So vehicle is a more viable team than Kryptonian. Perfect.
Mr. Mind, full point. What was that? Full point? 150?
150.
Yeah.
No, that's
Wow.
second though.
Avatar of Gaia, Cyclops from Deadpool Weapon X with the Avatar of Khonshu, Blackhawk Pilot. 2 Frenchies on the sideline, Michael Keaton, Gaia, Khonshu, Reverse Flash, the treasure chest, and his objects were the herb and 2 smoke terrains. Miles. This feels like a Miles build. Why?
Oh,
is this happening?
100%.
I like
so
I like what he's doing
just
here.
from looking at it, so you can tell like what he's got. So he's gonna have tons of prob. I see him bringing in Mr. Mind. Cody can go ahead and correct me by doing it, and so can Brandon, because yeah, I haven't been able to talk to Brandon, so I'd love to like pick his mind and see what it is. But like when I'm looking at it, I see Mr. Mind going with prob because you want to do those rerolls. Frenchie is going to be going on energy explosion, stealth, and perplex with Mr. Mind.
Yep.
And then I'm guessing the other Frenchie is going to be the precision strike, willpower enhancement onto Cyclops.
Yep.
And so now, since Mr. Mind has vehicle keyword, he's going to get +1 attack and +1 damage from the Blackhawk pilot, as well as enhancement from Cyclops. So Mr. Mind is going to be able to hit, or even with the smaller worm, he's going to be a 12 for 6. So
Well, that and the fact that
or 12 for 3.
Cyclops,
Yeah.
if you even hit Mr. Mind, Cyclops can just free heal him. So
Yes, yeah, the free support's huge. Yeah.
Yep.
And then that gives them ESD. Yeah, this is a wild team. This is not one that I would have thought would have made cut, let alone win the event. So bravo on this one.
No, yeah.
cool,
So
bro.
he beat the 300-point Kong, and so I actually talked to Kenny about it, and he says this is bull crap because if he would have made top 4, he could have beat Mr. Mind. And I'm like, but you had to get through Kong, so he had his chance. So the team that beat Kenny lost to Mr. Mind. So you can think you could have won this event all you want. You lost to the team that the team beat. So
yeah, Kenny.
that's why you're in 8th place. Yeah, Mr. Mind, this is wild. I asked him because I even asked him like, how did he beat Kong? Because I still can't wrap my mind around it because of how much healing Kong does.
I guess
And
I'm
apparently, he said Kong was just missing. And yeah, I just don't understand. Even with that, it's just I don't see the firepower unless he's like missing all of his everything, like all of his impervious rolls and everything because of his stop clicks. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
that's why I need to talk to Brandon. We need to get him on like a player spotlight because like these are the teams when we talk about how like the fringe is there. This isn't even fringe. This is a team that you look at like someone's going to put on the teams and it's going to be like a kitchen table team. This team should not be winning any events, and that's why I said that this is 100% a Buster Douglas over Mike Tyson because this I can't comprehend how this got to the finals and then won.
so
Like
my thought,
it's
I guess
crazy.
my thought is right is that Mr. Mind's a 12 attack, right? He's got a bunch of prob, so uh, or he's a 12 because he gets the +1 attack from Blackhawk Pilot, right? And then you have the perplex from Frenchie, so you're a 13. So Kong is a 20, right? Top dial
Yeah.
or 21, I guess, because
Yes,
he's
yes.
probably
So
got. He's got
also, I guess, okay. Actually, yeah. With all the perplexed now, so maybe that's what he's doing. Is that,
yeah.
and
So
that makes more sense. Is you're going to go and add him and just perplex down his attack, maybe.
yeah, or well, what I think is so Mr. Mind could have just hit him for like what 6 top dial, and then Kong takes 3 or whatever. So he hits his first stop click. You could follow up with Cyclops because he's got precision strike and get him past his first stop click in one go. If that's my thought anyway. And then now
Yeah,
he's
and after
sitting on
that, though, Kong's going to heal to click 9.
yeah.
That's where I'm trying because he has Gaia and the herb.
I don't know.
So
Yeah,
that's where I'm trying to figure out that where that's coming from. So like I guess you'd have to then the next turn, like I guess hit him with the precision strike onto that, and then
or did
hit
he
him for 6. So he'd go 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just
uh,
it's I'm trying to like understand how yeah it's weird because the final score is it, and I'm not taking away from this team at all. I think it's amazing that this team won.
Oh, absolutely.
But he won 300 to 70. So it looks like all he got was what Cyclops and or
yep.
and
It would be
Frenchie
Cyclops. It would
is
be
what he got.
Cyclops with Puncher, yeah, because that's 70. Yeah.
No, it's isn't Cyclops 45?
No, he's
No,
60.
Cyclops is 50.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So he was able to kill Cyclops. But yeah, so I'm trying to figure out like because like Mr. Mind's going to be your only attacker. That's what's insane about him. Whoa. I guess maybe against Kong, you're going to give Mr. Mind the close combat expert, maybe.
I was
With Frenchie,
thinking
if you're going to be going in that.
I was thinking that Cyclops
Yeah.
actually had the trick arrows at first, which that would have made more sense to easily take out the 300
I
point
thought,
Kong.
yeah.
But yeah, there's no trick arrows
Yeah.
either. So that was crazy.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to figure out is like how that really happens because like how the attack is because he's going to be able to heal. I guess Blackhawk Pilot's going to just also be able to hit for 4 too, but he's a 10 attack. Like it's I don't yeah. So yeah, I'd love to talk with Brandon get on a spotlight series because like that's what that series that I really want to talk about, and then obviously Cody piloting my team, and so I want to pick his brain about like how it felt um, being the first person to actually be able to play a Miles build and do it successfully. I think that was awesome. So
I mean, I like it. It's cool. Like I'm just again, I'm a little surprised too because Mr. Mind is only an 18 defense, so I'm trying to figure out, and he doesn't have his shape change because Kong has Battle Fury. So I'm just trying to figure out like how that worked. I guess.
so that's what I was saying with the perplex. I guess so. I guess if I'm going against the Kong team, and you're like, okay, we're gonna have to just go aggressive for Kong, and so I'm guessing Blackhawk Pilot's just gonna carry Cyclops as far as you can get to, and then you're gonna put both Mr. Mind and Frenchie onto Perplex, and potentially also bring in the Mr. Mind that's on the Mr. Mind's card on Perplex, and you're going to Perplex down his attack 3 times. And so now he's going to be a 12 from a 9, and at best he has Chthon, so he'll be a 10. And so now he's going to be a 10 to an 18, and so that feels a little bit better, especially with a prob.
Probs, yeah.
You have one. You
So-
just have one. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, you're gonna have one prob at that point. But,
because Cyclops is
well,
dead.
no, they,
'Cause he's got 2, right? He's
no.
got-
If Mr. Mind has perplex.
Oh, instead of the
so
prob.
maybe Mr. Mind has prob. Yeah. So and just think, okay, he'll be an 11, and so he's gonna have 3 shots to hit that 18.
Okay.
Because I don't think there's any other. Trying to see if there's any other way to really know to get their defense up. Sadly, when Blackhawk Pilot carries friendly characters, they get super sensitive until your next turn. But that's only if there's a resolve token. So I don't really think that ever really happened.
No.
There's only ever 3 figures on the map.
So I guess my question is, when Mr. Mind is attacking off of the big Mr. Mind, he can only use his powers and stuff, and he's not using the other Mr. Mind stats, right? Like,
No, but he has an 11 attack, so he's still going to be doing 3 damage if you have 2 Frenchies. If you have a Blackhawk Pilot and it's as if he occupies their squares.
yeah, no, I get that. No, I know. I'm just trying to see like what
No.
he can use, because he's not like gaining any of the other powers. He just has his like mind control, no attack power, super senses.
Yeah, from enhancement. So he'll be a 12 for 3.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. I mean, with an 8 range, yeah, that's actually not bad. So you might be able to get the first hit off. So.
Now, Kong was just the top 4 matchup, though. So how did the game against Cody go?
So I talked to Cody because I saw something, because I'm like, all right, Cody's gonna do it, and then I saw the finals ended up what was it? Brandon beat him 300 to 125, and so what happened was Cody went for the alpha with the plants to kill Mr. Mind, and Mr. Mind hit his shape change.
Oh, okay.
And so, yeah, so the shape change was there, and then he was able to hit his alpha, eventually to hit for a crit hit energy explosion. So yeah, he was on the stealth energy explosion and what's it called? Perplex,
That makes
and
sense.
it's penetrating. So even Prime Swamp Thing is going to get knocked back.
Yeah, because Mr. Mind is
So
bigger.
yeah, Ivy's are dead. Yeah, just Ivy's dead. Swamp Thing is essentially dead because you're going to be able to follow that up easily with Mr. Mind. The little Mr. Mind can just KO him then with just 1 enhancement. So yeah, he just got his rollouts and got a lucky crit hit, energy explosion that just he couldn't recover from.
And so Swamp Thing wasn't hiding and hindering, I'm guessing, with that? Or was he just up next to Mr. Mind, so Mr. Mind just shot from adjacency?
Well, no, so Mr. Mind's gonna be able to do the energy explosion. So he doesn't, whether he's in stealth or not, he's able to target people. So he can target anyone that's not in stealth.
Wait,
Hit him. So there's a
that doesn't make sense to me though, because he doesn't have any IT. So how?
well, he's colossal. It was an outdoor map. He was colossal, so he'll be able to energy explode anyone adjacent to him.
Yeah, no, that's what I was wondering. Was Swamp Thing not in? Yeah, because if he's adjacent, even if he's in a grave, yeah, he can still shoot at him. That's what I was wondering. Was either he did that,
Yeah.
or Swamp Thing was close enough and not in a grave or not in hindering.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how it worked, but yeah, if you're gonna have Ace next to him, maybe he targeted Ace, and since Ace doesn't have the shape change, you can just do the penetrating energy explosion and hit everybody.
Oh yeah,
And since they're not the target, you can do the shape change.
no, that's great. Like, yeah, I mean the crit energy explosion changes the whole game, but yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's what's really there's a few things that beat the team that Cody played that he played in, and that's teams that are able to do the energy explosion, the Hidari Yao teams, especially if you miss your alpha. So he wanted to change up, but he wished he would have picked map. I think that probably would have been better. He just wanted to go first. I think if you would have put this team on bunker, the Nifty traffic barrel would have been huge protecting that team, because the Mr. Mind's not going to be able to use the improved movement blocking. So you're going to be able to really, no matter what your size, and especially with Perdegaton, you can move whoever you want. So since you're going second, they're going to place their figures, and then you're going to go ahead and manipulate. Okay, you wanted to put them sideways. We're going to throw the figure over here, and now we're going to be on the lower elevation, so you can't get to us. So, he said that was one thing that he would change, is that he won map roll, and he said he should have went second. which I agree with because this team is actually built to go second on the bunker with the barrel for protection. So
Yeah, really cool final builds though to see make the event.
yeah, yeah, no, I have to like this. I have been losing my mind over this team ever since I saw it at one. Like, it is so awesome. Like, if my team that's being played by somebody's going to lose to something, let it be lost to
Vehicles.
a Miles build. Like, just something that's like, what is this? Because if I share this in our group chat and I'm like, you guys need to see how good this team is, I'm going to get that "you sure about that" meme every time.
Yes.
Every time.
Yeah,
So,
until you
yeah, I
win,
love
and
seeing
then
this.
I'm like, well, that's accurate.
Yeah, so this just shows you that the meta currently is open. I think it's going to close a little bit more with Collector's Trove because a lot of this stuff is really going to take a hit because of a lot of things that are coming out. But yeah, I mean, Mr. Mind just won a 28-person event, not against scrubs. You know, that was it. Texas is a really, really competitive scene,
Yeah.
and so Mr. Mind. Now, I'm not sure if Mr. Mind would have been able to deal with Dustin's team, but I guess that's something that we'll never know. And there's no reason to even take away from his win here, just because a 5-0 team dropped to go do something else. So
Yeah, not at
Part
all.
of
yeah,
the
first place Mr. Mind.
part of winning is matchups. Like that's just how that goes. So
And yeah, rollouts. I mean, he made a deal with the goats and did what he did. So yeah, super happy to see this build.
All right. I'm pretty excited to start building with Collector's Trove, but before we can start doing that, the pre-releases are going on right now. So what did you think about pre-release, Dan?
pre-release treated me really well. Like I said, I pulled uh, in total 3 of the character, like all of my super rare ones with their equipment, and then I got lucky and pulled Scarlet Witch yesterday. So it's been really good to me.
How do you feel like they actually like played though in the event?
Thor plays great. The Mjolnir bomb is stupid, but really effective. Um, I haven't played Beta Ray yet, but I'm assuming he plays pretty well. Bloodstone did not do that well for me. He just got one shot both times, but that's just dice. Like sometimes my dice are great, and other times they're normal, and that's just what happened. So, but he played really well in my last match because he was the one that basically killed the Chase Panther with the gauntlet against Looper. So, yeah, overall they play really good. I think Bloodstone's a thing. Like his charge flurry is ridiculous. So
Yeah, the next day Oliver actually pulled Bloodstone, and it was the same thing where he just missed his roll. So he did not have great showings over the weekend, but I think he's definitely going to be a piece that is going to be seen. Pete, how did yours? You didn't play Sunday, but you did play last night's on Monday. Where did you think about sealed?
I wasn't real enamored with my team, to be honest. I was basically the Agatha chase. I happened to get one Darkhold, one shot, which actually came up big with the Bookwood game. It was the regeneration one where you have to damage something else. And I just had a bunch of other pieces. So I took like 25-point rocket. I took the Kree Accuser for her enhancement and kind of just carried them around and just tried to stack enhancements and range attacks and have Agatha kind of poured around. And it worked out okay. I got very fortunate the first game. Like if he literally placed a couple more back, he would have won the game because he would have one-shotted her. But he didn't. And so the damage wasn't what it needed to be. And so that was kind of the big, and then his dice just betrayed him completely. So it was kind of one of those things. I was kind of farming his Iron Man drones pretty well because he kept bringing him in, so I just kept killing him. So that was that. And Agatha's great, honestly. She's great. She seems like a lot at 70 points, but she does so much for the points that you have as far as her mobility and her ability to have all the support powers and to be able to do it through her illusion markers and be able to get herself out of trouble. Like she's phenomenal. The Wasp, I had her at full points. She she played well for me. She hit above her weight class most of the day. I was able to avoid a lot of mystics, and then I also had the Black Widow, and was able to activate her every game. So I won my first one. Second one I lost to Dalton. Dalton had like prime Juggerduck, and I was able to kill everything else but Juggerduck. But basically, he one turned. He one turned Agatha because I missed my rollouts. I knew it was gonna go one of two ways. Either his Juggerduck came in. I was trying to wait him out and get him close to where I could use my outwits and try to get through his dial. But once he hit her one time and I missed every rollout, that was game over for her. And then I just had to concentrate on his support. So I was 1-1, and this is where Dan's talking about like matchups are so important. So I go at 2-1, and I actually got to play Dan. And Dan and I don't play often. It was a very fun game. Dan did flip me off to the poor sport for part of it.
There
Dan,
was
you
a
wanna
very
talk about
specific
that?
reason for that. It was not, and I literally hugged you after.
So Dan came out pretty hot, went up on points, and then his dice kind of betrayed him. And then he had activated Scarlet Witch. I just had Mantis harassing Scarlet Witch all across the board. Just that terrible 50-point Mantis. Just harassing her, just hitting her one at a time. Until I'm like, he activates it. I'm like, you're going to kill something. You're not going to miss me. So he misses, you're a 13. And I'm like, there's no way you missed me twice. And then he crit misses, and that's when I got the middle finger.
Any miss, I would have been like, all right, that's fine. But the worst possible option, I'm like, oh no, not after you tell me, oh, you're not gonna miss.
And then, of course, I pulse waved him with Agatha to end the game, and Dan always loves it when I pulse wave his pieces. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I should have. Early in the game, I pulse waved Agatha and I hit her for 2 because I got doubles, and that was when I should have just went all in and just murdered her because I got you off all the powers, and that's when I should have just done it.
Yeah, she's great, and she heals herself. Like, there's so much to like there. So, if you're not sold on Agatha, go reread the card a couple of times and just realize that the Darkhold one-shots come up big with her. Because I just basically had a piece on my team, so when I regened her, I could just damage that piece to keep her top dial. That's like literally the only function Mantis had. That and to get to her prop clicks, because she wasn't doing anything else.
I will admit, you played Agatha really well. Like you like were
She's
popping her all around the board. It was good. It was fun to watch. Like I was like, oh, this is great. Like I like Scarlet Witch, but like those activation clicks look cute until you're like getting activated, and then you just whiff and she just dies anyway. It's like, all right, well, that was cool.
her with Chthon on a pass team is. I think this with Pass already proven that's a winning build. I think Pass is only going to get stronger with this set. And she feels like a lot for 70 points. Rob Pearson actually answered our last week's questions with it. He listened, and him and his wife tested her out and with Chthon, and he said that she doesn't feel good for 70 points, but like once you add that in and you see what you get for 70 points, like the dark holds are also 5 points that are for free, and so that's going to be 15 points. So right off the bat, you're going to take 15 points off her build, so she's going to be a 55-point piece at that point. With since you're getting the one shots, I think she's just so worth it.
And that wasp with hitting and giving action tokens is sneaky.
Oh yeah,
Because there was turns where Dan was just actioned out because of wasp, and then I could be a little more aggressive. So I don't know. I if I played any of the other people like the Thanoses that were there, I would have just gotten stomped like everybody else, or just would have been nothing to it. But I just got fortunate with my matchups. And a couple of lucky die. I did have one turn where I hit 2 6s for super senses against Dan's precision strike. So I finally felt like it was to be Daniel. And then I think the next turn I hit a shape change, and he just kind of stared at me. I was like, "This power is amazing."
that's how it feels. That's why I keep chasing that every time.
Redmond, how'd your day go?
Well, I have a couple more questions for you, Pete.
Oh, okay.
How did Juggerduck play? I'm guessing Dalton played him at full, right?
Oh, dude, he's good.
And that
He's
was with
good. The sidestep.
that was without the
charge,
Crimson
the
Gem,
drop.
right? Because he only comes with
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And if he hits, he's just hitting you for like 5 or 6. It's just there's nothing you can do. It plays like a Juggernaut piece. It's great. It was fun to watch. Dalton's always fun to play. But his Juggerduck just smashed my team all over the board.
I just realized I should have
Did he go
outwitted
wow?
and that would
Whenever
have been
before you attack? If he didn't, then Dalton deserves to just give that Juggerduck away because it's required to go wah.
I don't recall him doing that.
It's gone. Dalton, just go ahead and send it my way. You failed the Juggerduck test.
I did not pull great either day. On Sunday though, I did get Yandu, and he with that arrow is pretty good. He's not really doing that much, but being able to pair with that Yaka arrow and deal as much damage as he does. I know he's 60 points, but the Yaka arrow is 20 points, and on him it's doing a ton more. You can ping up to 4 people for 1 penetrating damage. And there's plenty of teams like the plant teams that are just sitting back in their home base right now. So I know it's 60 points, but I feel like it's potentially good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to figuring out where to build with him. And the cool thing is that like we have the team that we just went over that just won the Icy, he themes with them. So I mean, who you want to put is it sound good to put you want to put Yondu on there, or do you want to put even though I know there's the free support, but like Yondu or what's his name, Cyclops.
clubs.
I guess
Yeah.
the free support obviously is good, but I mean vehicles it's a winning build, so
Yeah.
yeah, he's amazing. I need to
Ghost
if he get me one.
Rider 048 is still vehicle too, not for nothing. If you're trying to go a different route, so
Are you talking about Ghost Rider?
yeah.
Yeah. So I did not do great on Sunday, and then Monday I pulled even worse. I think, what did I have? I basically just had a bunch of support. The closest thing to another attacker that I had was the Winter Soldier, and so I ended up having to play the common Thanos, and I did not pull any pieces to put on my sideline that had Cosmic or Deity, so I had no extra powers to pick or anything like that. It was just common Thanos.
Wait. Does he not? But he has past too, right? Or is it not? Is it not past as well? I thought.
No, it's Cosmic or Deity specifically, the characters that he can pick powers from.
Oh yeah, from the
Okay,
sideline.
all right.
So yeah, I did not do well. I ended up going up. So then we'll get into this in a second, I guess. But we had a lot of Thanoses played on our pre-release. So first matchup was my Thanos versus Jeremy's Thanos. He actually got to have Gamora on his sideline, so he was able to take sidestep, so he was able to hit me. I actually got the first hit off on him, and I hit him for 5. And then I just missed my rolls, and he was able to pick some stuff from Gamora, like what was it? He picked sidestep so that he could get a running shot off and hit me still. Then he also got the exploit weakness from her later on, and he was able to hit through my impervious and then my other clicks. So yeah, he got me pretty good, and then I got the buy, and then I ended up winning the last one. So the common Thanos, I think, is not great. What do you guys think about him as far as the game and sealed?
Oh, he's gonna be great in Pulp. Oh, and sealed, I think. I mean, why not? I mean, you have an easy answer for Pulp. No. So on a serious note, though, I think on paper and in principle, like it sounds like a good idea to have like a win condition being a common, but this I think is a little bit too much. I mean, honestly, realistically, like especially as like a common, so everyone's gonna get it, and like that sounds fun because you're like more people are gonna play it, but that just becomes stale. So everyone's gonna play Thanos. Like if this was a team sealed, I mean, how many Thanoses were pulled from your guys' brick that you opened? What, 5 or 6?
So
Four.
6. I think it was 6. So Sunday.
No, 4.
If it was
4. It was 4 yesterday.
That's 2 full teams now. So now you're gonna have 3 teams, both with they're just all Thanos, and just being able to put the Thanoses on their sideline too, so that way they can get the running shot, they can get the close combat expert, they can get the run, the that power. Yeah, no, it's I think in principle, like it sounds like it's a good idea, but it's one of those things that I think in practice, especially in Pulp, like he beats everybody in Pulp. The Ares bomb with him being colossal is just going to destroy. It's going to be a 14 attack with blades because Ares has deity, so he can choose it. So he chooses Ares blades, and now it's going to be a 14 attack that's blades with precision strike, and it's gonna be a minimum of 4 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, and he has giant reach 3. So that's yes, it just becomes like that much bigger of a problem.
Not even
I think it's
not even dipping into like Ares though. I think this is like a good piece to have available to pulp. I think the actual piece itself is fine, but for sealed, it ruins sealed events for sure as a common. The first game so Oliver ended up playing him too because that was his best shot. But he pulled, and so he ended up going against somebody else that played a full point Thanos, so they had to battle that out. And then if you don't win and there's an odd number of people, then you're definitely getting the bye, so because you scored 0 points. And then how many other ones do we have on Sunday, Dan? Do you remember?
There was only 2 on Sunday.
Okay, but then I played it on Monday, and Jeremy played it on Monday, and then
Yep.
I think Adam pulled one. I think Dalton pulled one but didn't play one. And then Abraham pulled 2 and had one on his sideline. And so like for Christine, for example, she actually pulled really well. She got Beta Ray Bill and Thor, which that would sound like a fun team to play. But then she ended up having to play a full point Thanos on the second round and then a full point Thanos on the third round. So it's not super fun to play or play against, and it's such like an easy go-to pick. So it's definitely not great for future sealed events, I don't think, to do commons like this.
I guess if he was
No,
rare, maybe
rare.
Like
That's what
Yeah.
I
A
was.
rare is fine. Yeah, we have the 200 point.
He
Yeah, that's
doesn't.
fine.
He
'Cause you
doesn't
get like
do
one,
enough.
one per
though.
break.
He's good for.
Well, no,
he's good for pulp, but I
I-
don't think he looks. That's not a rare, and this is totally fine. But is
Really?
uncommon. You think that
Oh, I
this
just
is
feel like
rare?
he's pretty solid. I don't know. Like I'm just throwing. That was just I threw a dart at the board. I wasn't
Yeah.
like making an. So I'm just
I
like
do. I think he 100% feels like a rare, especially like I said, with the certain combos that you can get, like especially as a colossal. Like, yeah, that's
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah.
I
He
mean,
does
I
feel
like-
like a rare. Like I understand, like they're trying to say they go, but see, a common one sealed. Like that sounds good on paper and in practice, but when you actually see it performed and see that it's sealed, supposed to be a fun environment, and like I know there's always going to be an answer in a set. Okay, there's going to be like a Chthon, there's going to be a dark side. There's always those, but that's like one in every 8 cases, maybe. The bricks or what 8 bricks. I mean, so that changes the dynamics a little bit. Whereas, like you said, there was 6 300-point Thanoses. One player got 2 of them.
Yeah.
There's nothing that can even compete. I guess a decent answer would have been the 300-point Thanos. Maybe, but even then, I don't think so, because his good clicks are way late, and by that time, he's going to be almost dead before he's really able to compete with the common Thanos, because that Thanos is an 11-17-3 to start.
Yeah.
I mean, I lost
and-
to Thanos because I couldn't hit him. Like I had attacks to do it, I just couldn't hit him was the problem. So like my dice,
that 14 attack, he's hitting you.
yeah, that was the thing. And I like on Sunday, like my Ulysses, had he made a rollout, I would have been fine. But I rolled a 2 and he just got one shot, so it didn't matter. But had I had that, I probably would have hit him because I had I picked I had Avengers TA that I copied, so I was a 12 attack and I had Flurry, so I probably could have damaged him. But I lost a couple attackers quick because I just missed. So I don't know, like, yeah, maybe not as a common. I really like him. That's the problem, is like I actually really like this Thanos. He's neat. He does some really cool stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm
but
saying. Like he's a good option. He's a fine piece. It's just as a common
Yeah.
slot where everyone's pulling him, it just
Yeah.
he's too good for everyone to have him. And then the games are over in like 10 minutes, and then you're just sitting there for another 45 minutes. It's just not. It just isn't good for an event.
We saw this. Yeah, we saw this with the first Disney Plus set with an uncommon that was pulled rather frequently with the Strange Supreme. Yeah, so we've already seen like a power level of this, something that just is the best in slot. And the fact that I think the only thing that could have competed with the Strange Supreme is like a Prime Vision or one of the Chase Witches. Like
Yeah.
that's just weird that
So
A common, like you can't beat a common.
at the very least, then he should have been an uncommon, because that's a perfect example. If Doctor Strange was an uncommon, I don't remember seeing more than one of them in any of the events that I did. So, if there's one Thanos at the event, that's fine. You're not going to have to play more than one against them.
Yeah. It's just making the entire field with him, especially like you said, you pull that you pulled 6 of them, and then I just got done talking to Zelensky. He just did his sealed in California, and he said he pulled the Yondu and then the rare Groot, and he was doing really well. And but 2 people pulled the common Thanos, and he says, yeah, you just can't beat him in sealed unless you pull them.
Right.
So,
Pete, did you have to go up against a Thanos?
No, I got lucky. I missed him. I literally missed him just by matchup chance in the second round and the loss because Dalton played it in the third round.
Okay.
And so because of that, I ended up with more points. So I haven't played him. He's just, I don't know. Sealed is weird, right? Like sealed is sealed. So there's always something that if somebody pulls another booster, you're like, well, we're all playing for second. I think in this case it's just hard because that's coming in that common slot where it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't begrudge anybody playing it. If it's your best option or that's what you want to do, but I just most of the time with sealed, I'm happy if I pull reasonable because if nothing else, at least I got some new because it's normally either pre-release or release, right?
Yeah.
So if this is at like an event and you're buying into like sealed, I think that's gonna more affect once the set's out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
yo, I'm not knocking any players that are playing it
No, not
at
at
all,
all.
like by any means.
This is more of like a set design criticism.
Of course you're going to play it, but yeah, it's more of the of what it can do, and just how easy it's pulled. Like just because in theory it sounds like a good idea, but I just think in practice it's not.
I don't know if this isn't a rare though. I mean that discussion I thought was interesting. 300 or 150. I mean at 300, he's still doing a ton, and you're still getting the reap trait the whole time.
Yeah.
On either line.
Yeah, no, I think that 300 points that's what's winning a lot of events is 300 points. Nick won his event. I think he played the event. I believe he had 300 point Thanos. So I forgot what he has on the sideline. And then Corey, out here, from the Eagles, he pulled 2 Thanoses. So he had one of them. So, and I believe he won that event as well.
Now, one of the other things that is new to this set is the one-shots, and we kind of got a chance to play with those. I was impressed with how fun they were and how they just made like a quick little change in the game. Did you guys get a chance to use them or play against them?
Yeah, I used the hammer one on Sunday, and that was awesome to be able to pull that off with Thor. I just throw Mjolnir and then pull it back afterwards.
How many times did you get that off? At least once against me.
Twice, because it was you and Looper. Because
Okay.
I pre-warned Looper too. I said, hey, don't bunch up, because I'm just going to throw this at you, and it's going to hurt everybody. So.
Pete, what about your one-shots?
I used Soul Siphon once, but it was huge. I mean, it was huge in my first game because I almost lost to Agatha, and then I was able to have a nice regen roll and put her right back to top dial with that and porting her into an illusion marker to heal her. I didn't use it other than that, but I like them. Honestly, I like to open the booster packs and see, like, even if I look at the characters and I'm not real enamored with that pack, I'm like, oh, I wonder what one-shot I got.
Yeah.
So I've kind of enjoyed that part of it.
And they're already going to be in the next set too that we saw in Spider-Verse, so they're definitely not going away after this set.
I also like that they're just.
So how do you feel about it compared to Tarot?
Oh, I like it because you're paying for it.
Yep.
The second I make the decision, somebody else scored points.
That's nice.
Whereas Tarot was just Tarot never worked. Tarot was not a decision you made either.
Well, and you still get the
Yeah.
points even if you got them for free too. Like I still got that 10 point, or was it 10 or 5 points, whatever that Soul Siphon was worth. As soon as you flipped it, I still got it, even though you got it. For
No,
free.
no, you don't get it until the game is over.
I know.
That's technically when you score it.
No,
But
I
yeah.
know. But
No, yeah, no, I do like them. I think that I think it's interesting that the 2 best ones are the ones that they go, man, this is so good. Oh man, we need to make this to counter it. So like I know they're readily available, but the ones in the play at home kit shouldn't exist. I think both of them are just bad ideas. One of them is very similar to what we used to have from the protected feet, and that was never a good time. And then obviously rivalry is the other one. I don't think that you should just be able to say no. You're gonna hit.
I guess that's true, but at the same time, some of these chases are gonna see play, and if you are using the one shots, then you're not using the others because if you're using the ones you get for free, so I
Yeah,
I
but
don't
no,
know.
that's yeah. You're not going to use those in certain teams, like for instance, like with the Herdari Yao and all that stuff. You know, I realize it can also be good for Herdari Yao, but
These
yeah,
chases
then the
without the one
4 to 5.
shots. Yeah, these chases without
Yeah.
the one shots are pretty lackluster. I mean, they really add something to all the chases.
Yeah,
So I think it's and obviously rivalry is going to be problematic, but we'll see.
Yeah, Fortify actually, after rereading it, I don't think Fortify is as good as I thought it was because it says when a friendly character would take 4 or more damage after reducers.
yeah,
So that means that if you have like a vulnerability, they have to do 6 damage. So
Mhm.
you're not going to be doing that a lot.
There's plenty of super sense pieces though that just have super senses, and you just have to do 4. That's going to happen a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the piece I'd rather save than my like tank piece that can actually take the hit.
Right. Going back to comparing them to tarot cards, though, I do like the fact that both players know the whole game. You know that it's always these are the cards that are possible, and at any time it could be an option. Whereas it's random during the game and might not even come, and then you sometimes even just forget what they have. So
Yeah,
I like these
that's
better.
true. I just like that they're a paid game element, and they're also much more limited than tarot because you max out at 6. So and then you don't have any other sideline unless you're playing one of the figures that you get them for free.
Yeah, directly
So
interacting with the sideline is definitely a good play too. A good move. All right, well, we do have 1 or 2 listener questions.
Your ass better call somebody!
First is David Newmark. What 2 game elements, figures, one-shots, equipment, anything will be the most impactful from Collector's Trove in the upcoming Icy Regionals? I think the easy top 2 are Universal Weapon and Rivalry, the one-shot.
So I'm 50% there with you. I don't think Rivalry is going to be played as much. I think Bloodstone is because
More
I
than
just see we're
Rivalry?
seeing those tentpole combos more than Rivalry. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, because with Chair Panther, I think that it's going to be people are really going to be hesitant about maybe paying 5 points for that. But I think because Bloodstone, just if you look at the teams like from the IC that we just looked at, the don't die teams becomes a really hard play right now because like I realize Death Metal Wonder Woman you don't get the roll, so they're just going back on their stop click. Prime Black Panther they're just going back on their stop click. They're not healing with the herb that they're trying to make sure that's happening. They're not healing with the Gaia from Kong or Man Thing. I think that the it's just going to be really hard to even play like 300-point Kong. I think is dead. I think Chthon is dead. I just don't think you take a chance on Chthon because it's not a you may, so you have to pick a character. And if somebody is playing that Bloodstone, you're screwed because you're taking an unavoidable with no chance of healing.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, Panther only turns off sideline active things, right? Oh, never mind. So sidelines are sideline active.
One shots are
okay.
sidelines because it says the back of the card
It's
says
on the
that
back.
they are so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he can't turn off
Yep.
one shots then.
He can, yeah. Yep.
Dan, what about you? What do you think?
I still really like Mjolnir. Like not right now, but just like I still think that's powerful, and like the figures you can get it on is pretty good. Like even just the Thor at 50, like just having access to Pulse Wave is huge. I know that Universal Weapon is cheaper, but Giant Reach 3 improved targeting characters and Quake and Pulse Wave are amazing.
The
Obviously,
keywords
yeah,
too are crazy.
Yeah, the name or the qualifying names, yeah, you
Yeah.
get it on a ton of people. Yeah. I actually really want to try it on the rare Spider-Man from Black Panther
just for funsies. Because that seems really stupid to just either hypersonic or charge up with Giant Reach 3 and Quake and Precision Strike, and then just giving out tokens and then the improved characters.
There's a new figure in this set that I think makes Mjolnir. It's an interesting thing because you get Mjolnir for free, and then you're also, So I think with another Spider-Man, I think it's be really good.
I think those. I mean, obviously the one shots. What was it? I think I still think the Darkhold one shots are underrated as far as like what you can do with them. So those are probably the ones that like I know Rivalry is powerful. I think also Pin Particles could be huge because actually I like Pin Particles. Just being able to change size for a turn can really change stuff.
Right. Pete, what 2 game elements do you think are going to be the most impactful at the Icy?
Universal Weapon and Rivalry. I just Universal Weapon, not just for the Hidari Pulse Wave nonsense. I mean, it's just TK. Here you go. Now you have TK on your team.
Oh yeah, I mean it's 10
It makes
points.
Chair Panther that more useful.
Yeah.
So Chair Panther now has it. So it's it's a thing.
Yeah.
So I think those are.
Sorry, go ahead.
You don't have to build it. You just don't have to build a TK figure.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You don't have to search for.
You always have to find that on your keyword. Yeah. Yep.
All right, Joe Ruffing. What fringe meta piece or pieces do you hope to see people try out at your Icy Regional? Honestly, I want to see Mr. Freeze, and depending on how this weekend goes with Blue Beetle, I might even jump over to Mr. Freeze and build like with unthemed assassins for it. Otherwise, I'd like to see any of the 2 D&D pieces that just recently released. That would be really cool to see builds for.
Yeah, out here I'm not gonna be able to make it to Washington, and it sucks because the D&D clicks won't be legal, and then I don't think Freeze will either, since it's this weekend. So it's the 1st or the 2nd, whatever that is.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see Mr. Mind get played. I think that seeing him win Texas, it'd be cool to see Mr. Mind, see how he does out here. Another thing that I'd be interested in seeing is I want to see some more of the dinos being played. We've seen Ultra Humanite. And so Ultra Humanite, I think Mr. Mind are the only 2, maybe Flash Raptor. And Flash Raptor, the only 3 of the 2x2s to actually win events. So I'd like to see more of those dinos get played.
I don't know why we're not seeing Flash Raptor on like I don't know 50% more builds.
I think the last time I saw him played was when Matty G won the CLIX League West event 1, and that was before Beetlejuice. So yeah.
And I really like Green Torch.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Yeah, he was fun. I was gonna play him before I finally shifted gears to plants, and like I know that but I've been a fan of plants, and I love Swamp Thing and Man Thing. So I'm like, yeah, I finally have my figures that I want to play. I'm like Dan with Thor, except I have really good Thors to play, so I'm playing my Thors.
Dan has a good Thor now.
I know. That's what I mean. You know what I mean? Because when you do that, like, but I want to play this figure, and usually it made the teams worse. And like where a Swamp Thing and Man Thing now like made the team good.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't.
So I'm taking full advantage of that.
That's fair, but I'm not a Kryptonian cut kind of person. If I know it's bad,
No, by no means. But like that if you look at like some of the teams that have been, that have been the weird teams, it's because like I want to play a figure, like even if it's not good, just because I like the character or the figure, because I'm, it's that fringe. And so like this is where it's actually like it's semi-fringe, but it's also competitive. I mean, it's a Wakanda keyword. Like Wakanda is winning events and placing really high in 2025, and it's amazing that I think Black Panther did that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want like the 120 point Beast Boy. I think there's something there with him. I'd love to see him like place really high. I think there's a lot there.
Yeah, I think it's going to take a couple more sets here, and people feel a little more comfortable with playing some of these sets. But there's some stuff out there that's going to definitely mix it all up. Dan, what about you? Any fringe meta pieces that you would like to see at our regional?
Really wish I could say I was going to be playing something fringe, but I'm not. I'm playing Wakanda, so. But my Wakanda team is not very fringe. It feels like I have a lot of the stuff that we know is good on it. So.
I think Wakanda still is fringe. If you look at it, I think me and Cody and maybe I think 2 people three people maybe have played it, and there's been over 100 and something players and there's only 4 teams that are Wakanda. I
Yeah,
think you can say that's French.
yeah. So I mean, otherwise, like I'm not necessarily knowing what because our IC isn't like Collector's Trove will be legal.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see like what people do there because there'll be more available.
Displacer Beast will, Mr. Freeze will. That's the newest stuff.
As much as I would want to try Displacer Beast, just for the shenanigans at like 125, I don't think that's worth it. Like there's a lot of clicks there, but
Pete, do you have
I don't
anything
know.
that you would like to see?
I want to see somebody unlock Beetle. I think
Blue Beetle?
Prime Beetle. Yeah, I just think I keep going back to him. Like I keep talking myself out of him, and I keep building teams with him because that is just such a wildly interesting power to me.
Mm-hmm.
And while there are pieces certainly that are getting played that are above 75 points, most competitive pieces and most competitive teams that are hitting the table are largely consisting of pieces that point value are lower. And so you got at least a chance of just absolutely just taking apart a team in one shot. And then not for nothing, you can still tell them they can't use something. So even matchups with like Kong and stuff, well, no charge, no impervious, Prime Colossus, no charge, no impervious. So I just think I think it hasn't been done yet. So I'm waiting to see somebody pull it off because I just think he's just a wildly cool piece.
Yeah, I'd like to
So
see him
the
on more
interesting
builds.
thing about Blue Beetle is that he's like Redmond's Arachnite this rotation, and that's what Alec Muser played, and he's really sold on Blue Beetle. I think he's playing him, so it's gonna be really interesting to see the neck and neck like we had last year with you and him about playing Arachnite, trying to get the highest place. He got second in what was it, Nationals. You got second in Champion Clicks. Like, so it's or close to second. Yeah, so
In the
it's
2v2.
just awesome. Yeah, because like the 2v2. Yeah, so it's really neck and neck between you two. So I'm looking forward to your build and his build, placing high. I have faith that it's going to be either you or Alec that is going to untap Blue Beetle.
Yeah, I really want to see him do well. So I'm trying to build with him. I'm going to see what this weekend holds. Otherwise, this Mr. Freeze really has me intrigued too.
Oh yes, Mr. Freezes. Yeah.
Then we got Jonathan Virgilio. Is theme still important, and is going second finally a viable option? What do you think about that one, Miles?
Actually, it was just posted by Data Ray Bill, as he's now called, on Facebook. Yeah, he's Data Ray Bill. He even said it himself. I forgot who called. I think it was Eli Becker called him that. And he actually put out the numbers. In silver, no, it's a little different. I'm trying to. He posted a little bit ago. Where the heck is it at? Right here. So in 300 modern, players. This is pre-cut. Players who go first win 61% of the time in 512 games, and then in 46 games, this is for post-cut. First won 52.3%, and then in 63.3% of players played theme in 300 modern, and then in 190 games, a themed team played unthemed team win 53% of the time. So I mean, if you look at the post-cut numbers, it's a lot closer. When you look at like pre-cut, 61% is that's a number that is way too high for first, and I think that has a lot to do with team building. I think we've only been like with the small maps for a year, and so a lot of people are still building with the Alpha Strike mentality and everything, because like there's players that are playing Monster Island going second. Like and there's so many teams with alphas. So if you're picking that map outside of like a local Bookwood, you're getting smashed. Like that's just it's unless you have like some defensive capabilities. Like people hate the bunker map, but there's other options for you. Not just a bunker, but there's the what is it, the
Masters of Time had a
the
bunch of
mansion.
really good ones come out.
Yeah,
But yeah, the
because
States
that's a
map
little
too.
similar. Yeah, in the states map. So, and in a world where going first means you don't pick map, I love these maps because it gives second player that chance. And I know people hate the bunker, but the bunker, and as people also hate the barrel, and the bunker with the barrel really helps you going second. And I think that's something that I think needs to be looked at. Whereas, like, I know you can abuse it going first, of course, but I think the payoff of and the trade off of it helping you a second player win, I think is helpful, especially post cut. Now, post cut was really weird where that goes into play, because like are people just taking less chances since it's cut, and so like maybe they're, instead of making the right play, they make a more defensive play, and so they're only winning 52%, because a 10% drop post cut is insane.
Yeah. What do you think?
And then themes, I'm not sold on theme yet, and the reason why I'm not sold on theme is because of Legacy Panther. So non-theme, you're going to make good stuff like butterfly. Well, now guess what? You're not going to be able to choose a butterfly swap.
Yeah, I think my biggest thing is that the most important thing is being able to play Panther or Despero, and so and just making sure you can't have your opponent can't bring out Beetlejuice. So that's the most important. So then, secondly, do you want to play one of the themes that has their keywords, or do you want to play unthemed? Those are your options now, and then you can start looking at maps. But I do think that people need to get better about picking maps for sure.
Yeah, and then I was also, because I was talking with Data Ray Bill, and he also had another interesting thing that so before Beetlejuice came out, he did all the monitors and everything. Players were averaging, this is winners and losers, each player was averaging like around I believe it was like 180 to 190 points a game. And since Beetlejuice has came out, the average amount of points per game each player scored dropped to 151, which that's a crazy drop.
Yeah.
As well.
You just
I mean,
and he did 1,500 games, and so that's a really good number, and that's just modern.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really crazy to see like an almost 40-point drop per person. And I think that really goes into play. That and I was testing with some people. Alec was one of them, and so and Alec's a really good player, and he knows the rules. And so it's when he was under the impression that Beetlejuice didn't even let you charge. And so, and I know it's not just him. So you're going to have a lot of people to where you're going to have to go, no, you can. So that's going to really slow down the game. And I think that's why he's bad for the game right there. Like just him in Modern has changed it from a 40-point drop of average points.
Yeah.
Is insane. And I think that has a lot to do with not slow playing, but him slowing down the game. And I just don't think that's good.
Dan, what do you think about theme?
I mean, I'm probably like theme or die, to be fair. Like that's just how I play. But it's gotten to a point for me where I think it offers like nuance to team building, like where you can get a specific edge that you're looking for, but it's not necessarily mandatory. It's not where we were, 5 months ago now with porters. It's very much like it can give you something that you might be looking for strategically, and it opens up like good like build crafting options, but I don't think it's a must.
Okay. What about so you don't think that it's like necessarily do or die going second?
No.
No, I don't think it's do or die going second. I build to go second, and so I can win going second. I think the only thing that hampers playing untheme is that if you have a butterfly swap that you can choose for them to shut down Keaton and potentially, your butterfly swap with Panther.
Yeah, I'd rather always pick map and go to my home base. So if I don't do that and I end up going first, then, that's fine too. But that's what I hope for.
Yeah.
Pete, where are you with it?
About what can build to make going second optional? Viable option?
Is theme still important, or is going second finally a viable option?
Oh, I think theme's always important. I mean, I think it's always important. It's part of one of the fun things to me to build with. So, I mean, does it mean you're going to lose if you don't build, if you build non-theme? Absolutely not. And is going second finally a viable option? The data would suggest in modern, not as much. You're still 60
Post cut it
40.
does. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
60-40. Yeah, but post cut is there. But yeah, I think it's just mainly from them the way that people team build. I think that's why. I think we're still too early with the smaller maps.
I think the things that you have to have if you're going to do that are things like the barrel, and stuff to help slow down what's going to happen to you if you end up going second. So,
All right. And then I thought this one was pretty cool. John Michael DiGiulio. In honor of Pete and Miles missing King of New Orleans, I have a Pete and Miles inspired tournament team. It's got Hidari Yao and dice manipulation for Pete, and Shuri team up with keyword cheating scientists for Miles. Is this something they'd consider running if they were attending? Did you guys check this out?
I did, yes.
Yeah, I thought this was pretty cool.
Yeah, because as soon as I saw it, I thought it was really cool that that me and Pete actually inspired somebody. So that's awesome. That we'll be there in spirit.
Do you want to go
there was a few things that
do you want to go over it?
I liked about it.
Go over it.
And
read it.
I'm getting to it.
Man. All right, I got you. So it's a Wakanda theme. Wakanda forever. Prime Black Panther, Avatar of Ammit, Hidari Yao at the Hell Cycle, Shuri, the LE one, or the OpKit one. The new Mr. Sinister at 40 points from the Hellfire Club Gala. Per Degaton at 20, Zenzi at 15, and Raven at 5 points. And on the sideline, it's Ammit, Ares, Michael Keaton, Cathan, Midnight Angel, and Towerette. And he's got the barrel on there. He's got the heart-shaped herb. He's got the vibranium. I love it, man. Yeah. Black Panther has how many powers now, is what it says. So I would probably change a couple of things. I think you can get some points back by getting rid of the Avatar of Ammit on Panther and putting that new longsword on him. And that's kind of everything I want him to do up close.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was thinking, is that because what you guys are going to have... No, never mind. Collector's Trove isn't going to be legal, is it? No.
For Icy? No. Or for... Oh, New Orleans.
Oh,
no.
the Icy, yes. New Orleans,
no.
No,
it's not. Yeah, so you'd have to go to the Hell Cycle.
Yeah. So, yeah, never mind. Amit is good because you're going to be able to keep him alive longer, but and give him poison. But yeah, no, I do like the longsword because the longsword's not even going to be legal because doesn't that come out Wednesday too?
Yeah, it comes
out.
No,
you'd have to go. You'd have to go Bucky's arm.
Okay.
You'd have to go Bucky's arm.
Mm-hmm.
Until anything else comes out, though, I think longsword's the play when that comes out. But I like Ammit on him, honestly. Give him poison, steal energy.
I do. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Mr. Sinister is really an interesting play.
I like that. I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's just for Hidari Yao, right, though? But it's still good.
Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fine. Because they're going to go ahead and KO him, and then you're going to heal him.
We're still waiting on the ruling too, like an official ruling on the knockback stuff, because if Hidari Yao rolls a 5, now she's got doubles and she's doing knockback on her. Oh, it's not legal yet on her. I was gonna say on her pulse wave.
Yeah, but even so, it doesn't matter because she's gonna be able to still be able to knock back if she does that 5 to replace it with a knockback.
Yeah, she's still knocking you back.
Yeah, she's still knocking you back.
Way meaner with pulse wave.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 6 damage from pulse wave, and it's insane.
Yeah,
and
all you need to do is change. There's 2 changes. If somebody's listening, that I would propose. Make it a range. I don't like that it's going to tie into with pulse wave, but then it's still going to work, I guess, the same way in the ending, where it says when she would hit characters like for their attack, like just specifically you word it specifically for attack. So that way it doesn't work for the knockback. So you can change it because the reason why it works that way is because the win ruling for the all black, for people that have been arguing why it works, and it's just because all black is for close attacks, and so since that was ruled with the knockback being part of that, that's why hers is, because hers is when she makes a range attack.
No, you've got 2 great attackers and plenty of support, and you can TK. It's a well thought out team, and you got shenanigans. I'm a fan of shenanigans. Miles is also.
Yeah, this is like a DBZ fusion
Mhm.
right here. It's a Miles Pete team. It's so far it's my favorite team I've seen that's going to New Orleans.
Wonder Twin powers activate.
Yeah, second favorite.
I like
Tied with my
seeing-
most favorite.
I like to see Raven on here too. Honestly, that's one of my favorite parts about it.
Yeah, Raven's good.
I'm excited to see Zenzi because she's a good answer to Hidariao too. So
Yeah.
I'm curious how many Hidari Yaos you guys are going to see there.
I'm gonna say so. If there's how many players do we have signed up for right now?
26, I think.
26. Okay, I think 80% of people are gonna have Hidario.
I think it's gonna be pretty
So,
high.
so
Yeah.
that's really high.
I really think it is because people are going to this to become king of New Orleans. So they're gonna be bringing the A game in right now with the way Hidario is being ruled, like that 3 damage knockback. Like, oh, you have impervious. Well, you're still taking 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, even with Invincible, it doesn't matter. Yeah, you just take damage.
Yep.
Moving on to Paul Cote. Are you jealous about Zombie Scarlet Witch participation prizes? Well, both Dan and I are going to have them in hand this weekend, so I will not be jealous at all.
I was like, wait, am I supposed to be jealous?
No,
Yeah.
no, I'm not jealous. I think that it's awesome that a figure like her is the participation, because when you look at like the more recent participation prizes, they're the Brood and then the Parademon.
Those
and
are
so to see
good.
a figure there, but they're more collectibles, especially the Brood. The Parademon I think is being underplayed too.
Yeah.
But that's just because the figure that he's good with really hasn't seen modern play because he hasn't been legal yet, Black Adam. But yeah, just to be able to be like as a new player and to get a piece that good, I think that's exactly what participation prizes need to be.
Yeah.
And I love to see it. I'm more jealous about the potted plant from the Ices.
Got you, Miles.
No,
You're fine.
Or not Champion CliX.
Yeah, Champion CliX is going to be the potted Groot. Which we
Yeah,
have not seen
that's
yet.
what I'm jealous. I know, but that's what I don't even need to see it. Yeah, that's what I'm jealous of.
Pete, any jealousy on the Zombie Scarlet Witch?
Man, I'd like to say no, but I'm a jealous bitch, so I'm a little jealous. But I think it's cool that you guys are getting it for going, so that's awesome.
And then, is CM Punk too old to main event WrestleMania? I don't think he's too old at all. I think it actually needs to happen and let CM Punk finish his story.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Yeah, no. I've personally never been a fan of CM Punk, so
You don't want to
that's
see
even
him
during his Ring of Honor days.
Oh man.
Um,
All right. So you are no.
no, and that's the reason why. Is because I'm still salty about Shinsuke winning the Rumble and losing to AJ in a lackluster match that should have been match of the year a few years ago.
Wow. Okay. Dan, what's your
Dan, do you
opinion
have any thoughts on this?
CM Punk?
I remember him when he. I remember watching him like once in a while. Was that mid to late 2000s? I think.
Yeah, when you were born.
Yes. Because I've now downgraded to a 12-year-old apparently.
Did you?
Well,
like
you were a
watching
little
him,
bit
though?
older than 12 when he started. Yeah.
Did you like him though, or no? Do you want?
Yeah, he was interesting. It was. He always put on a good show, so I don't see why he couldn't now. I mean, I don't know how old he is now, but I don't really think that's an issue.
Well, he's younger than Hogan was when Hogan tore down Toronto at WrestleMania 18 with The Rock. So
Well, there you go.
So, does anybody want to go into his backstory on why it's a big deal?
Which part?
So it's a really big deal because he was actually before Roman the longest reigning WB champion, and he never actually main evented WrestleMania even as champion because they wanted to tell another story from John Cena, for instance, and so he never really got his WrestleMania moment even though he held the WWE championship longer than John Cena did. So people that aren't wrestling fans, WrestleMania is the biggest. I'm sure they obviously know what WrestleMania is, but and so people like that are wrestling fans or become wrestlers, like their dream is to main event WrestleMania, and so you would think that being the biggest star and the longest reigning champion, you'd be able to finish your story and main event WrestleMania, and he hasn't. So that's why it's a big deal.
Well, also too,
Did I miss anything?
Yeah, the biggest part, he decided to walk out of the company almost 10 years ago, and then
Oh, that's on him.
disappeared,
That's
and
on him.
then yeah, sure, but that's still part of everything. And
I
then
guess,
he
yeah.
went to another company, got kicked out of that one, and then nobody thought he would ever come back to WWE, and he did last year. And now he's got a chance to actually do what he wanted to do in the first place. So it'll be interesting to see if it happens. I would assume that was part of the.
Will he get injured again?
That's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, you get 2 nights of WrestleMania now, so you can easily have him finish his story and make all the little punk heads out there happy. I don't think so. I've never been a fan, for full disclosure. I didn't like him the first
Thank you,
time
Pete.
around.
Thank you, Pete.
I get why people like him. He's great on the mic. He's at least above average in the ring. His style was very unique at the time, and now a lot of people do that kind of pseudo striking style stuff. But
he
I
also
just
has
am
a
not.
tie-in with CliX. I don't know if you realize that too.
What's that?
He was a writer for a Marvel comic. He wrote a miniseries. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he's fine. If this is like some dude living out his lifetime dream and all the years that he put into becoming a professional wrestler and making it to WWE and AEW and all the things that he's done, if this is what he wants to do, I hope it happens for him. But I don't think I don't personally care.
I think his UFC stint really hurt a lot.
Yeah.
As far as being too old, he's absolutely not too old to do it. Because like Miles pointed out, Hogan was way older than that.
All right, then we have the terrible Recyclops Shroot. Redman,
We're doing this really early.
I just want to get it over with. Waste of time.
I get it. Yeah. That's why I put it in the middle, just to try to,
Yep. Redman, I have returned once again. It looks like you have garnered more arch rivals. Westpool is now looking for a victory over you. I will smash you one day. Recyclops always delivers. What are all your favorite kinds of pie? I hear Redman loves blueberry pie. Sure. Anyone else want to answer that? No? All right. How much does the introduction of the longsword elevate characters with the warrior and brute keyword? Prime Panther becomes even more ferocious like me. No. What are some other figures you would use it on?
Let me answer this.
Okay.
Literally anybody with the warrior brute keyword that's going to attack.
I think the biggest thing is, do they already have close combat expert? Otherwise, it's such an easy play. I actually think Wally West, it makes him a lot better.
Oh, yeah. That makes him way better. It's like, oh, he's an 11 attack. It's so much better now.
Supergirl.
There's a lot
I still like it. I think I still like a 2 better on her because she has close combat expert on the back end. But
she's coming in hot on that top dial with that thing, though.
What about
that's
what about Shatterstar? 12 for 4 flurry sidestep.
Yeah, Looper would have nightmares if Shatterstar hit the table again. I actually have a soft spot in my heart for that Shatterstar. I don't have a problem with him.
Yeah,
because he went through somebody's whole team with the most improbable thing ever. So
Looper's listening to this and having PTSD right now.
Who's going to win more games in a pulp tournament? That Shatterstar or Gambit?
Shatterstar.
Probably Shatterstar.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're talking about the new
I was
one?
hoping for a challenge.
No, not with this one.
Mm-hmm.
I like Shatterstar way too much, and the Gambit's cool, but he's
that's
not
why I asked
House of X Gambit.
No.
Is there still more shit from this asshole?
Yeah, there is.
All right. On a scale of 1 to 2 fingers, how excited is Dan for Displacer Beast and also Jace Loki?
That's a full 2 fingers right there, sir.
Full 2 fingers.
He even snapped afterwards. I hope the mic picked up the snap really well there. Good. Are we done with this crap?
Oh, yeah. Until next time, Redman. I'm going to put Recyclops on mute, I think, pretty soon here. All right, moving to Samuel Phoenix. What kind of teams would you build with the new Mr. Freeze? Yeah, I'm really excited to do Assassins with Talon. I don't think a full theme of just Assassins works yet still, but I do have a couple of ideas. It's definitely on my short list of pieces to start building with. I think the key to him is sacrificing pieces to just give out as many target tokens as you can, take a couple of hits early on, and then I think he's really got a ton of potential because he's able to replace Raz, and before you'd give that target token out, and someone could just keep that piece in the back and then just play around it. Now you're having multiple tokens, so it's he's always doing something. Mr. Freeze having him on the board. It's not like Raz where you're letting 80 points just kind of sit there, and then you have to wait for that token to or whoever has a target to actually get KO'd. So you're having a ton of targets. Each one that gets KO'd by an assassin's also giving you 25 points, and if Talon's on the board, they also don't have defense powers. So I think there is a ton of potential there.
I think unthemed is rough. I really wish he had Mastermind, because as a 2x2, he is a big target, so you're gonna have to protect him. But yeah, he's gonna replace Raws on assassin teams. I still think you can go full assassin with range, because I mean you can get Mern on the team, so that way you're able to, with Deadpool and Hitmonkey, and then as well as your Talon. But Beetlejuice, it really hurts the combo with Talon and a Tomb, so you're gonna want to, you have to go unthemed at that point to bring in Chair Panther.
Yeah, that's another thing too, is the Chair Panther. But then if you want to risk that, I think doing the Thieves Guild, what are they called? Thieves Guild members or something?
Yeah, Thieves Guild members, yep.
Yeah, so you can theme Assassin with the Theme Guild members, and then when they get KO'd, you can start bringing in other goons as well, if you want to.
Yeah.
But then you have a chance to bring in some other stuff there, low points, and anyone that's KOing pieces, they're getting target tokens. So yeah, I think that there's something there.
Not for nothing, the Thieves Guild also, if you roll a 1 through 3, they KO the or they remove the equipment from the opposing character that KO'd them.
Oh, so right, yeah.
That's just free points you're getting, I think, if they're removing the equipment.
Yeah, you score it.
Yeah. So it's so that means that you're only giving up essentially, like, let's say for instance Hadar Yao with the universal weapon, you're giving up 15 and you're taking away 10 points from him. So it's realistically only 5, and then now she can't pulse wave.
So and she's got a target token and doesn't have super senses.
Granted, not if they get pulse waved, but
oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too, but that's okay.
She'd still get her.
Oh no, you play the
though.
PJ Scott, or something. Yeah, there's something. Yeah.
I think he's good on Assassins. I agree with Miles. I think Assassins is back, like Backstreet, baby. Scientist, Scientist is gonna take a huge bump with the new, basically completely revealed Spider-Man set that's coming in like 12 minutes.
Shuri, the OP Shuri getting Scientist onto Wakanda. So now you're like, you know what? We don't have, they can't be doing the you can actually protect him more on Wakanda. I'm trying to think of if there's a way to get Talon on there. I don't think there is.
I don't think so.
Yes, there is. She has Spy, right? Does she have Spy?
I don't think so. She's martial artist, assassin, owls, Court of Owls, and maybe.
Okay, never mind. That's all right.
Maybe Gotham City.
Warrior.
I think she's Gotham City on.
Oh, she is Warrior.
Yeah, I thought she was Spy. Yeah, I thought she was Spy. But if she was Spy, I would say you put a Koye on and make her Wakanda. So then now, you're going to be taking away everyone's defense powers. And I realize
Talon,
Wakanda.
Talon, Birds of Prey, Court of Owls, Gotham City, Assassin, Martial Artist. No Warrior.
Oh yeah, it's not Warrior. It's Martial Artist at a Tomb.
Oh yeah, Martial Artist for a Tomb. Yeah,
that's what it is. Not Warrior. Dan, do you have any personal
I think there's
feelings?
something there.
Oh, sorry.
In Assassins, you still have Orb.
Yeah.
Orb's there.
Mr. Freeze is not my wheelhouse. So he's really good. Don't get me wrong. Like, I see the potential there. He is just not my wheelhouse. That is the only thing. But he's dope. And
I also think it's awesome how like Mr. Freeze was just like a nobody, and then the Batman the Animated Series completely changed his origin, and so they changed his comic books origins specifically for that. Yeah, I love Mr. Freeze. He's awesome. He's amazing.
And I mean, not for nothing, he's pretty stout for 60 points. I mean,
He's got good movement. He's got I like any character that destroys blocking that you shoot through is not a bad thing. And his in cap is actually really good, like because you just deal pen damage after. So you're tokening it. He's got 3 bolts. You're tokening up an entire team, or you're like or a bunch of characters, and then you're just dealing them pen damage after resolutions. That's good.
Yeah, I like him a ton. Just there's not enough low point support on assassins.
Yeah.
That's
you need Kanto with like I'm assuming the universal weapon to give him TK because he's then your like sidestep TK shenanigans piece.
Yeah, that would be huge. Kanto needs to get released wherever he is.
And the other thing too is you get so many attackers though.
Right, exactly.
Robin, Shadow, Green Man.
I think Assassin also needs like some close people that can actually punch well because that's the thing for me. It's like, well, you're literally
Deceased Catwoman.
Huh?
She's not Assassin.
Oh,
Deceased Catwoman.
She's not Assassin.
Yeah,
I looked. She would have been awesome.
So now, do you think that potentially, since Assassin needs a few like close attackers, that maybe Valentina might be worth looking at with Freeze? I know they're 100 points together.
So
you're able to get soldiers in there.
The whole thing is that you want the Assassin keyword to do the KOing though, so you get those extra 25 points.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, yeah. But you're gonna have the close attackers to protect your assassins that you're gonna be using it to.
You got to stick with assassins. I think you got to have everyone have the opportunity to attack. Playing them before, what happens is once they start dwindling down, they don't have enough ways to make sure that you hit and you're doing enough damage. Printed 3 damage and that's about it. Doesn't really do much at the end game.
Yeah.
When people have reducers and rollouts and all that.
Yeah, and they don't tolerate close attacks very well. That was the thing that I noticed was when I played against you. As long as I got into to like punch distance, your team didn't manage as well. It was tougher for you.
And so now imagine a bunch of little guys that are able to kind of place and stop you from moving. And now it becomes a lot harder. Sure, you can KO them, but now you have a target token.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he went up the list for me pretty quick. All right, Peter Marshfield. I seem to have run out of witty and clever words to lead off my comments, so I'm just going to lead off with this. We all have plans for how our teams play when everything goes according to plan, but how do you recommend planning and preparing your team for when not everything goes to plan? I know you guys have talked about this once or twice, but but a little insight as to what that looks like would be appreciated.
The only thing that I say is I think that you absolutely need to build to go second. I think that's very paramount. I think that's going to be the most important part. And then when you're figuring out like what you lose to, just assume you're going to miss rollouts. Your opponents are going to hit their rollouts, and so you want to try and find a way around those.
Dan, what's your suggestion?
Being able to rebound is crucial. So I wholeheartedly agree with the Miles phrase of don't find how your team wins, find how your team loses, and plan from that. Because now that I'm understanding how that works, and this is a new thing for me too, is just that makes me play much differently because it's like, oh, well, I know that I don't do well against this team. How do I change up how the game plan goes in order to do well against this?
I think a big part, honestly, is just you have to practice and just continue to play out, even if it looks like... I know a lot of people only practice like the first 2 turns or 3 turns for placing and all that, but really seeing what you can do after 1 or 2 pieces are gone. If your team completely falls apart, it's probably just not going to be able to handle it. But in general, I think that when you talk to somebody, the good players and the not as good players, the not as good players are going to basically just say that their team beats everything because everything that they're going to do is happening exactly how they want to and nothing's going to go wrong. And then you have like what Miles is talking about now where, what do you do when you go second? What do you do when you miss your rolls? And those are the questions that people don't answer or they don't ask themselves when they're building.
Oh, I was going to add one more thing before Pete because I totally forgot. This is actually one of the most important things. So I test with a lot of different people, and they always like there's games where I purposely lose and they don't understand why. And so when testing, I think it's very important to realize what your strengths and weaknesses are. And you're going to take these unoptimized plays. So you're going to purposely like lose your tent pole early. And so that way you can see how your team functions with it. And so what that's going to do is it's not going to really, it's going to help create muscle memory, but as well as it's going to see that you have a figure that is going to be able to do something that you normally wouldn't do anything with. But since you put yourself in a situation, you're like, oh, wow, this figure works really well in this. And so it's going to help you when you actually have all your forces, because now your figures are going to be more of a Swiss Army knife because you know exactly how they work and what they do best. And even if it is a long shot, it's worth taking.
Yeah, that's a great point because that's what I do when we have like our practice events leading up to some of these.
Mm-hmm.
I'll like overextend or I'll play a little bit more defensively
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, and you start to see what pieces just don't carry their weight or they're only useful if this and this happens. Otherwise, they're basically just sitting there not doing anything. And so now you can start kind of picking and choosing what might pop off your team and what you needed. You'll start seeing those things.
And then threat level. You need to realize every build's going to be different that you're going across the map with. And for instance, that Mr. Mine team, I was talking with Cody a little bit about it. At first, Mr. Mine seems like I have to kill him first. And what happened was, with that mentality, he got that shape change. And if he would have instead would have went for that, the other threats, like for instance, like let's say he's going to drop a plant marker like underneath the Blackhawk pilot, which is probably adjacent to the Cyclops. All of a sudden, you kill those two pieces, and so now it's just Mr. Mind. And so now you know, well, Mr. Mind is going to be real hard for him to kill me. And so since you kill his support, now that tent pole becomes less of a threat because you're going to be able to use all of your extra actions there. And so it's threat levels, and they will change between builds. There's going to be builds where Hadari Yao is going to be the top threat, with Colossus, depending on what the support is. And there's going to be teams where you're like, I have to kill Colossus before Hadari Yao. And that's the secret, is trying to figure out which is the threat for each team you play. And that takes a lot of practice and a lot of time to realize your biggest threats, because you need to see what the entire team can do that your opponent has across the map.
Mm-hmm. Pete, do you got anything?
I just assume everything's going to go wrong. And I'm pleasantly surprised if it doesn't. That's basically how I play HeroClix. No, I try to get some reps in with stuff. My problem is I want to play so many things that I'll end up switching at the last second. So that's something I've tried to learn to not do. And then the other thing too is that it's really, the practice nights are really a huge advantage, because you can practice your placement and your ideal alpha strike and everything, but giving up pieces or putting yourself in a bad situation on purpose just to see what everything else does is good. It's also good to see against another player how they're going to think through taking apart your team, and so really have to pay attention on how they're using pieces that you're going to likely see in an upcoming event against you. So we're very fortunate to have a active local scene that a lot of people participate in that stuff. So it's
your scene's really good.
Yeah.
But the good thing that you brought up with Redmond saying how he's purposely like sends things out, like those are perfect for casual nights, because you're gonna give casual players that would never have a chance in a competitive event, like Bookwood, like to where he actually thinks that he can win, because you're purposely sending out fodder for him. So I love that.
All right, and then here's the link to last week's build from Peter Marshfield here. So it's a warrior theme, the Black Panther Prime with Bucky's arm, Supergirl with the Avatar of Atum, Wonder Woman, the Death Metal with Avatar of Bast, Pegasus Cap, and Shuri with Avatar of Towerette. So this was it the Icy? What did he play? Because he was talking about...
I think it was just a local weekly. I didn't see his name on any of the events.
Okay. I think the only thing is that you're just going to run into Captain America just not having the deployments.
That's my biggest thing is what's Cap doing? Is he carrying up Shuri, or is he just like, or is he carrying up like Death Metal, or?
I mean, he is giving out ESD, not for nothing. That's been the whole problem with Cap the whole time, is how do you get him out there?
Mm-hmm. Well,
But
no,
that team also it protects him too, because you have two ways to bring him back. If
Yeah.
he's carrying Prime Panther,
Yeah.
they're gonna have to, if they see him as the biggest threat compared to Panther, whatever, you're gonna have those vibranium tokens, and so you can just bring him back, and then Death Metal can bring him back. So
I don't know. I mean,
then you're able to get it. But yeah,
it definitely helped keep him alive. So that part is good. And
but
my thing. So you're definitely not going for the alpha, because I guess you could, but you definitely are sacrificing Supergirl if you're trying to do it. Like, because you can TK and then hypersonic shoot, but I feel like you need honestly still feel like if you're playing this team, you might need the traffic barrel, just because this team's not always.
no, that's
hitting.
a perfect build. Yeah, that's a perfect build. I would recommend the traffic barrel for sure. I would build, if you have been trying to do your practice testing, and if you have the bunker, bunker and barrel will give that team, I think, a lot of survivability. And so just practice that just for going second,
And
because that
Supergirl,
team looks like it's not meant to alpha.
yeah, and Supergirl's amazing on bunker because she just shoots through stuff. So her being able to
Yep.
shoot through a blocking and clip something and being able to get away is really strong. Like, she played out pretty well for me when I used her before. So I actually really
Super
like
strength
that.
with herb too.
Exactly.
Yeah, super
Yeah.
strength with herb. So
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about Diana and the Hell Cycle instead of Supergirl? Supergirl's great, and she works really well with like Black Panther and Death Metal, Wonder Woman, and everything. But I don't think that Cap goes on the team, or you have to do like Diana instead of Supergirl. It's kind of like a mesh of two teams, right? Or no?
I think Diana's gonna be the better play, because you're gonna get that deployment.
Right.
Yeah,
You
if
can
you're
keep
wanting
at that point, you can keep Cap, because now you have your deployment for Cap.
exactly. If you want
So-
Cap, you switch to Diana. I think if you want to keep Supergirl, you go a different route then,
Yeah.
and you switch
Super
out.
Rare Panther with a free
Yeah.
god, I think, is better than Cap if you're
Yeah.
going the Supergirl route.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it sounds good. All right, and then
I have a similar team, but I would go more of the healing. That's what I think this team does the best, is it just outlasts things. And eventually Panther gets in
Kong?
there and does Panther work. Yeah.
Yes, you just bring the Kong.
Yeah. But I think it's cool, Peter. I always had a problem with Captain America. I liked him a lot, but I just never could get him to work from deployment mostly.
Well, I believe you can replace Cap and Supergirl with Kong and Diana.
That's 110 points. So yeah, you totally can, because they're both 50.
Mhm.
Yep. You just need to work. You need to work in getting the bike on her if you're trying
Yeah.
to get over there.
And so that way you don't need the barrel. Yeah, you wouldn't need the barrel if you're going the Kong Diana route.
Well, Death Metal
Yeah, 'cause
also
you're
just
going-
has Bast on her. You don't need Bast. That's 10 points right there if it comes down to making
Oh,
it
yeah.
work or not.
Yeah. I think that's mainly probably for the willpower. But no, I mean the outwit.
That
She doesn't yeah. It'd be the outwit.
Willpower's not bad on Wonder Woman. Allows her to keep going.
Yeah, but no, yeah. I think that you get Kong and Diana with Hell Cycle, and because that's gonna be what 80 plus 40 is gonna be 120, and yeah, so that's Barrel, Hell Cycle, Diana, and Kong replaces the Bast in those two.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to go, if you really like Cap and you want to play him, I actually think Zala Jarrell is another good, like, one other option that you can
Yep.
use for 50 points, because she hypersonics, she ignores shape change and mastermind, so she can hit things, and then he comes right over. So
Yeah, I think it just needs to be a little bit more fine-tuned and focused with the goal. Otherwise, it's good. And then also, are any of you familiar with Mummies Alive or SWAT Cats? If you are, what character would you want to make, and what kind of powers would you give the figure? Man, I forget what station those shows were on, because I definitely watched
Fox
things.
Kids.
Is it
Fox Kids.
yeah,
It was Fox Kids.
SWAT Cats was Fox Kids?
See?
Originally,
Yep,
yeah.
SWAT Cats was originally Fox Kids, yes, because Fox Kids had a working agreement with the company, because I think that Disney ended up buying it out later, just with Doug too. But I believe I'm 99% sure it was on Fox Kids, SWAT Cat.
Did
I'm
you
double checking it right now.
did you guys have UPN
SWAT
out
Cats.
there, Miles?
I do not have a VPN.
No, UPN.
Yeah,
It was a station.
UPN.
Oh,
UPN.
UPN. No, I no UPN. No, I never got that.
I feel like that was on UPN, and maybe I saw it with like Beast Wars or something. But
So
I
the
never.
original one was TBS.
Oh, TBS is
TV
what I'm
block.
thinking of. Okay, it
Oh,
wasn't UPN.
there
Yeah,
you go.
yeah, the Hanna-Barbera.
Okay, I never really watched
And then
it though.
it
Oh, and
bounced
there's a
around.
okay. So I think we could get SWAT Cats because now there's a revival series coming out. It's under development, so I think we could.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Kickstarter made like almost $150,000.
Did anyone watch those two shows though?
I watched
Yes.
SWAT Cats as a kid. SWAT Cats was great, so like I could see that. And they're
Mummy
pretty-
Alive was like Pirates of the Dark Water for me, where you think there's more episodes than there was. Same thing with Toxic Crusaders, and then when you realize there wasn't, you're like, wow, I could have sworn there was like 5 seasons, and there's not.
And SWAT
You're just
Cats.
watching the same episode over and over again.
SWAT Cats was just like what, two brother cats in a plane or something, in a jet.
Yeah,
They weren't.
yeah,
even-
they're
I don't even think they were brothers, right? I think they were just.
They're just friend
or
Yeah.
maybe
cats.
they were. Yeah, I think so.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're just two cats. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, they were
Mm.
ex. They were ex
in the
police.
stealth jets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they have? I don't know anything about them. Would you give them powers or anything, or are they just cats that are friends?
Well, yeah, you're gonna put them in the
in a
jets, so
plane?
yeah, you'll put them in jets. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what their powers would be. I mean, is depending on like you put them in you give them the vehicle keyword.
Yeah, that would be cool. Give them the vehicle keyword, do some stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can
Or
make
they-
a 1x2 and just have them in the jets.
Yeah. Or I was thinking they do like they did with the Batman the one time where you can have flight and like +2 speed and range, and then like once per
Mhm.
game you do something, and then you just eject out of the jet basically.
Yeah, and it's a pog because the cats
Yeah.
just have no powers. So when they would be K or whatever, it makes the bystander.
There's a really cool. It was Wonder Woman 80. It was the play at home or the release day Wonder Woman, and when you had her on the map,
Oh,
you
yeah,
could
she
like
made the
generate a
invisible jet.
jet marker or something.
Yeah, she made she made the invisible jet.
Yeah.
That was yeah.
They never
I
really
think that was
did
the
that
release
again.
day.
Was it release day? I was not easy
I
to
believe
get.
so.
It was kind of neat though,
I think
No,
it was the release day.
but they never.
which makes
did
sense because that
gimmick
was during
again.
COVID.
Yeah.
It is where is it? Oh yeah, so it's the 100. Yeah, because she makes the invisible jet, which is a bystander. That would be cool if they did that.
Yeah.
If like they each could generate a bystander, that would be cool. So
Also, shout out to Looper and Pete for knowing Gravity Falls and Bill Cipher. I must have a J.K. Simmons great Uncle Ford.
That's a great reference, Peter. I'm sorry, SWAT Cats, and that was not my thing. I was like reading about it as they were talking about it. So I'm gonna lose a little nerd cred here, but yeah, absolutely. Gravity Falls is something that everybody should.
if you
spend
watched
some
it,
time
Revan, I
with.
think you'd enjoy it actually. So it feels like it'd be kind of right up your alley actually.
I might check out Gravity Falls. Matt Vanderloop, which is Matt Looper. So you want to make a big time CLIX purchase, but you can't decide if you want the Ultra Chase Collector or Legacy Chair Panther. To help your modern team, what are you doing? Keep in mind, neither is an okay answer. Now, I would like to say, is both also an okay answer? Both on the same team is a great 230 points.
So if you're stuck with two of them, and you're listening to this on the drive and your wife's sitting next to you, don't. It's not worth it. If she's not sitting next to you, Legacy Panther, because he's going to have more legs than Collector on a multitude of teams. Whereas Collector's going to be your display collectors teams. Whereas you're going to get your money's worth with Legacy Panther by him being for every team.
Yeah, I think Chair Panther's just too important. And realistically, if you're getting Collector, you need Chair Panther so that you can do his free things.
Yeah. Yep, so you either buy them both or just Chair Panther. Because Collector needs Panther.
Dan, what about you?
Personally, I'll give my personal opinion, then I would give like strategic opinion is I won't be purchasing either of these. But
for use case as of where we are right now, Cheer Panther is better, and Cheer Panther is just great utility for 30 points. To be fair, like it's not even like yes, the sideline thing is important, but he's also leadership. He's also outwit, and that like just removing a token or an action token from the with using Vibranium is amazing for tempo. Like just being able to keep the piece going is really strong. So because not being able to stop like or just being able to keep taking actions every turn is huge because then you're overwhelming your opponent. So
Pete, what about you?
We only encourage fiscal responsibility on this podcast, Mr. Looper.
Not the
And
What?
now, no, and say hello to your lovely wife for us. But seriously, when she's not listening, I would buy both. But if you're gonna have to do one and not the other, I would agree. Chair Panther's too important with the Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton's in the sidelines become such a huge thing in the last really few years of HeroClix, honestly, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was always kind of a thing, but now it's like humongous.
Outside
so,
swap, yeah. But even
Yeah.
without Keaton, you have these one shots. You have the Mimic that's coming out of the Displacer Beast. That's
the
very
Mimic is
important because all of a
But-
sudden you're like, oh, you want to pick, so there's a lot of things that Chair Panther, even if Keaton wasn't existing, I think Chair Panther would probably
Still a
keep
good
his
play.
price tag.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I guess I have a question is since we haven't okay. Spoilers for anybody listening that doesn't want to hear about Spider-Man. We have seen the entirety of the Spider-Man set. We know at least right now, besides I think have we seen all the legacies too?
That we know of. There's 8.
Okay, that we know of. So
Yes, we've
there is
seen
no
all the
figure-
legacies that we know of.
Okay, well, I'm just trying to quantify this appropriately. So, no figure in the set screws with sideline. Like it doesn't shut anything off. So we are stuck with just Despero and just Panther for the moment.
And not only does it not shut anything off, it also adds more options because more one shots are coming out.
Yes.
Which I like because one shots feel balanced for the most part.
No, yeah,
So-
I'm just saying there's more things coming out for the sideline for Black Panther to choose, while there's also nothing that lets you do anything like Despero or Black Panther.
That's more or less what I was getting at. So you have a super rare who's very limited in choices to build with, unless you're just going to go non-theme and say whatever. Or you have Panther, who's over $100 between the card and the figure itself.
Each.
So,
yeah, they're
and that's-
each, which is
yeah, so-
insane.
So to me, I just don't like. It's the old adage of I don't want to have to be forced to play a figure, but then I also don't want to have to be forced to spend a ridiculous amount of money on a figure that I'm only playing because I'm trying to counter something else. That just doesn't feel good. So
Oh no, it doesn't feel good. But luckily, Chair Panther is amazing, and I enjoy the character. So at least if it's gonna be a forced figure, at least it's gonna be a figure I enjoy to play.
That's very true.
yeah, I guess I'm more thinking Desperos than Panther. Panther, I would enjoy playing. I just
I do like Despero, but the one knock that Despero has is that he was only able to choose one. And so if they have Keaton, you're forced to choose Keaton, and so now you're going to have other options. That's why I say Panther. I will say Panther over Despero 99% of the time, unless you're doing a pass theme, just for that, because you want to be able to choose 2 with these one-shot options.
I mean,
or keep it like playing Ares.
He's also cheaper.
Yeah, he's 20 points cheaper. Yep.
Yeah.
I guess my thing is Panther too good then? Because just picking 2. I mean, 2 things is just like we had the precedence of 1 in Master of Time, and then now it's like, well, double, and he's 20 points cheaper.
Then I realize it's your birthday. Leave the Panther alone. He's fine.
Yeah, no. He's not too good. The reason why he's the way he is because the designers have decided to design them into a spot to where they have to create a figure like Panther. So it was forced to do that.
I guess if you're gonna like paint yourself in a corner, you make a MacGuffin that's like, here, look, we solved the problem.
Yeah, and that's what they do. See, but you have Panther. It has nothing to do with money. We have Panther. It just feels bad that like a $20 piece that everyone can get in order to shut it off, like consistently, you have to pay for Panther. Like I realize Despero does that too, but in order to compete, like you're shoehorned with Despero into teams, and so that's not going to really beat a lot of teams. Just to answer a $20 figure that everybody and their mother has, like my mom has one. She's going to play CLIX.
Great.
So,
so in review, we all agree buy both.
Yep.
Okay.
no, you only buy Panther. You pull
There you
Collector.
go. There you go. Buy
Yeah,
Panther.
you get third place, and you become a hero, and get Ultra Chase. So
yeah,
All right.
all of us said buy both.
Moving on.
All right, Nick Ballou, what is a figure you all think has the potential to be meta that has not been spoken about by anyone yet? Give me those out of left field hopes and dreams. I think I've already brought him up twice, but I'm going to say it again. Snow Globe Mr. Freeze. I'm guessing Ulysses. He's already kind of being talked about, so he's not going to count because I think that's one that's going to shoot up the plays.
That's the best conversation.
Stop it.
We've already mentioned her, and I haven't really heard any much, but when everyone's talking about who's the best chase or what chase will you build around with Collector's Trove, her name is sadly not there, and in fact, people are actually saying Deadpool over Agatha, and I think that's insane.
Those
I think
people
Agatha,
have massive head trauma.
they're insane. Yeah,
Yeah.
The only argument that you could potentially say is going to be better is maybe Scarlet Witch, but I think this is the set where the Agatha is better than the Witch. And I think if you want to talk about a figure that's flying under the radar, he's doing well in sealed. He comes with 3 1-shots. You don't need to use all 3, so don't worry about that. Even though they count towards your sideline. But it's Gauntlet Panther at 125. I think people are going to try and play him at 50 and realize the 50 point sucks, and so they're just going to move on and not even think about playing him at 125 and competitive.
No,
And I
you
think
get
that
a
he
lot.
brings a lot at 125. So that's going to be the figure that is going to be slept on. He's probably going to drop down to about $75, maybe 50, and that's when you're gonna bite, because I think that Gauntlet Panther has a place in competitive that will be able to compete with the modern.
I'm already seeing him for 75. But yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. So I'm thinking he's going to drop as low as 50.
That's
Insane.
wild considering how good the Wakanda set is.
Yep.
And
No,
he's
I know,
phenomenal.
and you have plenty of reasons to build around this piece with Wakanda or whatever else you want, because he's got other good keywords. So he's got your other favorite keyword, which is cosmic.
Him and Agatha. The fact that I'm seeing Deadpool's name more than Agatha for favorite playable chase.
Who is saying
Who is building Deadpool?
There's a few names. I don't want to call them out because yeah, but you know who you are. And you are insane. And just because it looks like a good idea on paper and just because you can do it doesn't mean you should.
That flies against everything we've ever said on this podcast.
No, you can do it, but you know what actually is better than playing him at 70 points is playing another 70-point figure with a motorcycle, Uncommon Iron Man. You'll win more games that way than you will playing Deadpool. No, I'm saying it right now. Uncommon Iron Man at 70 points will win more games than Deadpool.
We've lost Contain.
Yep.
That's just facts. I don't play either of them. I'm just saying, Uncommon Iron Man he's a beast. You don't want to mess with Uncommon Iron Man. He will come at you.
Disagree. Dan. Nope, moving on from that to Dan.
No, go ahead.
Nope.
Go ahead.
Wow. Okay. All right. It's just gonna be Super Thor at 50. 8 clicks for 50 points that you can't just ignore, and Mjolnir with to give him Pulse Wave and everything else is just really solid. So, I think he's been talked about a little bit, but I don't really think many people are looking at him. So, you look at that 6 speed top down, you're like, oh, that's not scary, and then you realize that he has Mjolnir and he can throw it within his range. So that is a 8 swing by himself, because he can just drop it within his range, and you can buff his range too. So, that's pretty big coming from him for that. So I think he's great.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you build a team with him.
He's not a like, you build a team around him. He's just a good, like, oh, he's my 3rd string attacker and you can't ignore him.
All right, I take it back then. I hope you don't play him.
It's cool.
You don't just throw him on any team. I think that you're absolutely right. I think he is playable, but I think that you actually play to his strengths. I think that even though as a 50-point figure, I think you go all in on that, and then you play around his strengths instead of just plugging him into a team where another figure would be better in that position.
Yeah, that's
Such
the
a-
idea.
You're such a dick sometimes.
Oh, it's fine. I know that that's coming, so it's fine. When he clips your team again for, what was that, like 16 penetrating damage?
Yes, my comment on uncommons that you blasted off the map in a sealed game because you sat in the back for 3 turns and I just finally moved up and said, let's go, because I wasn't going to win that. You got my team.
Dan?
Response.
Yeah,
Sounds like someone's
I'm proud of you.
Himalayan salt. Yeah, I'm glad that you got Redmond to admit that he uses this Himalayan salt because he sounds salty.
I love you, Miles Kane.
Himalayan.
I'm gonna give an answer to this question. I love you, Miles Kane, but I hate you also sometimes because you constantly mention what I'm gonna talk about.
Oh, I'm
As soon
sorry.
as it came up.
That's why people build teams for just you and me. You don't see people building Redmond or Dan teams.
Dude, Agatha is amazing, and I'm gonna go one step farther than Miles, and I'm gonna say put a Hell Cycle on her. Hypersonic, ESD, porting around, doing witch things. Let's go, baby. Agatha's
See, now you're
wanna see
talking
it.
my language. Now you're talking my language.
I'll do it.
Good. I think there's legs there.
See, I actually really like the what's it called? The glider on her, actually. So once
Dan,
that
we
comes out.
we only believe in motorcycles in this podcast.
Oh, okay. Miles, is the glider really that much worse than I know it's not as good, but it offers utility.
Well, yeah, but it's not going to give you that movement attack. The hypersonic speed with her free place is ridiculous, especially if you give
Yeah,
her the on.
that is true. I think
Because now she's going to have a 10 speed hypersonic
yes, that is very fair. I think my only
with
thing,
4 range. So now she's
yeah,
only going to lose 1. She's only going to lose 1 range.
yeah, and she can swing the marker out further, which is good
Mhm.
because if you're going that far out, you need a way to get away.
Well, considering I'm a
Yeah.
giant chicken, she's gonna hypersonic out and then port right back.
Yeah.
So you're not even gonna get a shot on her. So it's like, yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
I like
She's
this
amazing.
idea. I love it.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, Pete, I will send my giant sized man thing over and try to punch her. So
Dan,
You and your giant sized Dan thing?
yes, sir.
Dan, I'm honored that you would talk to me about your giant size man thing. Happy birthday.
Thanks.
All right, Wes Robertson, with the extreme free flow of Spider-Verse leaks that led to the first ever early release of a set, is Collector's Trove just getting overshadowed before it ever got a chance to shine? Yeah, I think unfortunately the Spider-Verse leaks are going to hurt the hype for Collector's Trove, and with it being so early that it's previewed, it's going to help kind of kill the hype for the set itself too. So I am glad that they moved the release date up for it. I think that was the right call, so now we can kind of maybe just roll right into Spider-Verse.
Yep. So this is where the conspiracy comes into play. I think that they were going to be moving the release up as is because I think that now we're starting to get to a point where the sets are coming out when they were supposed to. Because if you look at it, it's in January, and this is when Spider-Verse was supposed to be released.
That's
Right.
true. We're supposed to
So,
get Collector's Trove in
I think
2024.
I think it was more of a coincidence. I think that's really weird that another Spider-Man set was leaked early. I find that a little bit more suspicious. But I think that this is something that was going to happen because this has never happened before where a distributor sent another set this early, which means that I think that we were just getting that much closer to having the sets coming out on time. So we're just gonna go through a little dry spell where it's gonna suck for having sets come out close. I don't think it takes away from Collector's Trove because I think this set, outside of 1 or 2 things, maybe 3, they're really not gonna really become anything until maybe post rotation and silver.
Dan?
So you can always have the online practice and stuff, but generally we don't have Spider-Man like in hand yet, and I'm really excited for Collector's Trove. There's a ton of stuff that I want to build with and play with. I mean, like even a person like myself is like I'm a very curated collector.
So like, but there's a ton of fun stuff in this set that is very playable and is good and is just fun. So like, I'm still really excited for this set in general. And like, I didn't even know, I wasn't really, honestly, like at first I wasn't really onto the one shots. Like I was like, oh, these are kind of neat. But like after seeing them and trying them out, like they're so much fun. I want all of them now, and from Collector's Trove immediately, just because they're a cool thing that I can have on my sideline that I can use as a nice accent to my team, and I dig it. So like, yeah, this set is awesome, and I'm not diminished as far as like my want to play this set or like things that are going to have value. So
What is the breakout surprise team or figure so far in the Icy Regionals? I think Brandon Ortega's vehicle team is obviously the clear winner here, right?
yeah,
It's not even close. It's
no,
not even close.
It's not even close. I think the
Who
other
had
one
it
is
in their
obviously
2025? Yeah, 2025 bingo card for HeroClix teams that are going to win big events, because I consider this a big event. It's 28 players, a big event for Texas.
Yeah.
I think
Nobody had Mr. Mind winning it.
nope.
No.
I think the other obvious one is your build. I know it plays second, but I think that's
Appreciate
the other.
that. Yeah, no, I
Like,
I think yeah, no,
you
it's
won with it up in the West, and then it plays second here. So that in Texas is only sweatier. So
yeah.
it held
No,
its
I think
ground.
Prime Swamp Thing. I think Prime Swamp Thing has shown and has quieted a lot of the detractors. That I know everyone says how Prime Colossus is the clear-cut best Prime. I'm hesitant to say that because I'm biased towards Swamp Thing, because Swamp Thing just eats him up, especially with his support. But yeah, I think that. Yeah,
But you don't
appreciate
even you don't even need to be on Black Lantern for it. That's the other thing is
No,
it's
that's
shown
the
up.
best part about it.
You
Yeah.
don't need to. It's cool, but you don't have to do it.
What is your
Yeah, Cody played that well.
What is your prediction for how Collector's Trove will impact the rest of the Icy Regional games? I think it's honestly going to be similar to how Black Panther affected Silver States, where people aren't going to be brave enough to build around some of the pieces yet. And I think there's a decent number of chases that definitely have potential, but it's on new teams, and they just don't fit the current ones, and no one's going to be comfortable kind of breaking that mold. I'm hoping to see by maybe champion clicks, people are starting to kind of practice a little bit more and feel more comfortable playing them, but I just don't see a ton changing the Icy Regionals besides the few that we've already mentioned.
Yeah, no,
mean,
Hadar Yao is just going to be played more. That's just how it's going to be. The
Universal
pulse wave abuse of 6 damage is just shouldn't exist, and hopefully it gets fixed before champion clicks, because it's obviously not going to get fixed before New Orleans, and luckily it's not legal for that. But hopefully it gets fixed before champion clicks, because that's double Kong Blackheart level of abuse that shouldn't exist.
Yeah,
If I
And I think
hadn't
it's even worse.
if I hadn't shifted to plants on Wakanda, I probably would be playing Warrior, and I would probably try to work Thor into a build. But yeah, I'm not really shifting anything right now as far as like that for the Icy Regionals. So
No, I like how you're doing plants too. That you're using it. You're not basing your team off of plants. You're just using it to really support your Wakanda build. So I like that.
we'll
That's
see
a
how it
different take
goes.
on plants. Yeah.
Yeah, it was more Man Thing works with Panther. This is dope. Well, okay, I guess if I'm playing Man Thing, I can go the plant route.
Pete, what is your prediction for how Collector's Trove will impact the rest of the Icy Regional games?
I think the equipment's going to be huge. I think there'll be some pieces. I think you could see somebody try to make the collector work. Honestly, because he's
Collector's being played in
amazing.
Icy.
Oh
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah,
Collector and Legacy Panther will be seeing play. I think
Yeah,
you're
they
going to see Collector more than 200-point Kong.
I think it's going to have a pretty big impact, because if you remember going back to Silver, like once the set started becoming legal, it changed the whole next couple of weeks of stuff.
But we really didn't see a ton of Hadari Yao when she was legal at States. I thought she was going to be all over the place, and we saw maybe 1 or 2 per event.
But no, she's now all over the place now, and so
Right.
now the universal weapon is only selling for $30 with Ronin. So now it's easy.
Yeah.
I mean, look how many Hadari Yaos we went over for the Ices. since Fates.
How about name a comic villain that you think is actually right? Mine is Lex Luthor, or anyone who is justifiably against any godlike alien who could very easily enslave the world if they wanted to. I'm going to go with MCU Killmonger.
Oh, that's such a good one. Oh, that's such a good one.
Magneto.
Well, that's a good one too.
Yeah, I think Magneto's right there, where he's just justified for what he's doing, similar to Lex Luthor.
Dan?
Gore.
Gore?
Yep, Gore was right.
Pete?
Doctor Doom is painted often as a villain, and he's really not. He's really a great ruler, protects his people, tries to
Makes sure
advance
that-
life in Latveria. Yeah, and doesn't put up with the rest of the world's nonsense trying to push it on his country and that. So I've never really thought of Doom as a villain. Misunderstood. Sure.
Great answers. How do you feel about the introduction of D8 and D20 dice into a traditionally D6 game? I think we here at Degeneration Clix love chaos potential, so I know I'm all for it. I'm excited to honestly see what Owlbear does now that we've seen the first two D&D iconics in hand.
And they're both
Come on,
really
Blades, Claws, Fangs with D10. Come on,
Oh God.
let's bring in the D10s.
Let's see. So, as far as like something like that, wait, where was this one? Oh, sorry. We've already had D20 Faust and Strange, so the D20 isn't super new. It just was one of those where it kind of, I think we shoved Faust in a locker and forgot he existed. So, but I like it. It is a dice game, I guess, just different kinds of dice.
And then he asks, how does it interact with reroll powers or the Ares effect? Basically, you can reroll them as long as it doesn't say a D6, right? Or like
depending on it.
attack roll. Yeah, it's all about the wording, really.
It has to be an attack or breakaway roll. So as long as it's those, you can re-roll them. Anything else, they're just nothing's happening.
Well,
So
no,
and the Ares
Porter-
interaction, I think, is
go back to
fine.
the D20. If like any of those D20
Oh,
20s
It
are
says
like
any roll.
Porter, yeah.
Oh, I was specifically thinking probability control because that was the problem with
Yeah,
with Faust initially was that you could just keep re-rolling it with prob and until you got what you wanted. And
yeah, and Prob got fixed though. Prob was saying for it specifically
Yes.
says attack rolls or breakaway.
breakaway. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
this is just reroll
And
powers.
so if there is a breakaway where somebody gets to roll a D20,
yeah.
then you could re-roll that. It's specifically a breakaway.
So, well, because you're right, Porter would allow that to, I think, right?
yeah,
It's
he's just
any
It says
roll.
you can re-roll any roll.
yeah.
He's one of the few characters that can do that, though, so it's pretty limited as of right
Yeah.
now, speaking.
Oh, yeah.
So.
There's a couple of things like that though. Now I know there's stuff. There's probably like 2 or 3 pieces that let you do that in Modern right now.
That lets you
That just
re-roll a roll.
Reroll.
Now,
a
is there
roll.
in Silver? There might be something that would be interesting with a die replacement, where it says whenever you would roll a single die, you could technically replace the D20 because it's a single die, because it's not saying D6.
Doesn't
I'm not sure if there is anything in there, but
I'm pretty sure most of them have it be like a single D6, I think.
Oh, Beholder specifically says D20 that he rolled.
yeah.
Yeah, but I'm talking about for the die replacement is I thought it was most of them were like a single D6, so they're contingent on that, I thought. So
Yeah, I know there's like at least 2 that reference that, but I'd have to go back and look for them.
Yeah, I'm looking for them right now. It should be up. I should find it here.
What about the Ares effect that he's asking about?
So Ares is whenever anyone uses the Blades, Claws, Fangs, period. It's
Yep.
from whatever source they have. So for the Mjolnir Spider-Man, for instance, this is when he uses Blades, Claws, Fangs, you roll a D8. It's not saying Ares is just that Blades.
Yep.
So whatever their Blade says.
It just allows
It works, yeah.
allows them to multi-target once per game
Yeah.
basically, and that's
And
it.
so when it says a character that can use Blades Claw's Fangs, and so it's referencing that specific Blades Claw's Fangs. It's similar to how the Vermilion works with the Legacy Carnage, because technically you have to choose a source of blades,
Yep.
and Carnage got around that because he says whenever he can, if he can use blades, and so that the can use means that it works for everything. It's not just that specific source. And I know there's a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's going to need a win ruling." Well, I am confident in saying that with the win ruling goes into play, since that's the source you're choosing, per the comprehensive where it says that you have to choose a source, it's going to be a D8.
Yeah. The ones I see in modern right now, as far as like re-rolling stuff, like so the play at home kit Black Panther, it's one of her single D6 rolls. I'm trying to look and see if there's anybody that actually re-rolls anything else, but
I'll keep looking for it too.
there's not many. There's really not many things that do that type of thing. So.
All right, then we do have one final edition from Westpool. Are you ready? Splish splash, I slapped the fish. Slither slather, I stepped on a lizard. Okay, I'm not a poet, but I am an artist with my blades. I'm making Lady Westpool a new leather bag from the gecko and having sushi from the guppy. See you soon, girls. Wink. Well, be careful, Westpool, because Rebgorn bites back, and I would expect a response video very soon.
Yeah, and Aquamiles, you've already seen it. Aquamiles obviously feels like you're too low, so he sent his crony, Uncommon Iron Man. So you're gonna have to get past him before you get to the main event. It's a gauntlet match, buddy.
Making enemies. Then we got Matthew Prignano. What is your favorite food and why is it Nutella corn dogs? Miles, do you want to talk to us about Nutella corn dogs?
All I know is that's a snack that Uncommon Iron Man makes for people that they seem to like. So you can go ahead and join our Discord, and you can go ahead and watch. Soon to be it's the beginning of cooking with Uncommon Iron Man. So yeah, that's all he does is cook.
Yeah.
Unlike Westpool, who only makes raw burgers.
Yeah.
According to Uncommon Iron Man.
Uncommon Iron Man was cooking today. Cooking today, doing some yard work, burying things. It was quite a day.
Yeah.
Quite a day in the Discord.
Yep.
All right, Garrett Schnathorst. Ooh, baby, there's been quite a week. Congratulations on the Mr. Freeze reveal. I know Ryan is happy about that because I'm extremely happy about that. And you've never seen Ryan and I in the same room together. Already building and
you're getting really bad about not letting us know that you guys aren't different.
The funny thing about that is I've actually seen them in the same room together. Not 2024. This was 2023 Worlds. Because
so you saw his as the Miz had Mizdow. So you just saw his stunt actor. Okay.
I did. Yeah, I did.
Okay.
It bothers me that Dan can see Redmond's Tyler Durden.
That's really weird. Were you under the influence?
I mean, I was 6-0 that day, so possibly.
Yeah, probably. Are you drinking coffee?
No. Just other stuff.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Already building a redefined Assassins team. Overall thoughts on him and the new D&D set. Love the Mimic and +1 sword. We'll love it even more on Kanto. I think we touched on a lot of that stuff, but yeah, where is Kanto? He is a desperate addition to Assassins that we need. Otherwise,
it's crazy that he was revealed before Rock Cup and he still hasn't been shown, and we've had LEs that weren't shown that have come out since. What, Hawkeye, Black Adam, for example, Baby Groot.
Yeah.
Potted Baby Groot. Scarlet Witch.
I feel the same way about the Rainbow Asgardians. I'm like, they got shown off at Gen Con and still are finally coming out now.
Mm-hmm. But it's Mantis and Kanto, right?
Kanto.
Yeah, those two. Yep.
Yeah. Still nowhere to be seen. Then we have all this craziness with Spider-Verse sort of has me a bit bummed out. It sort of feels like it took away from Collector's Trove release, but also from Spider-Verse having its own time. I love reveals, but not like this. I also saw they're keeping the same awful bystander distribution. That being said, what are your surprise wants from the set? Anything you wish that would have been in it? I am baffled we didn't get a Green Goblin or a higher rarity Rhino or Venom. We even got the Goblin Glider. Was hoping to have more multiverse styled characters than just the iconic Sinister Six as it chases. Stuff like Leonardo da Vinci, Vulture, Mech Suit Rhino, What If Quentin Beck Mysterio, and legacy cards for Alyosha, Craven, and Goblin King. Yeah, Goblin King is definitely one that I wanted to see.
I'm hopeful that we're gonna get more because this is a bigger set, but the legacies are 8 compared to 7. So I'm hoping that we get like another 2. I want like 10 legacies. I think that's a good number for each set is 10 legacies.
Yeah, that's fair. I definitely, those are some of the pieces I look forward to the most is like a Green Goblin or any of the Goblins really. And then, yeah, Rhino and Venom are always on the top of my list too. I really, really just want like an awesome chase Venom.
Superior
I'm
Octopus.
gonna shoot for the mill and go Super Venom. Just make him good. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, no. There is one of this. There is a piece in the set that will be seeing play from me. So the spot is going to.
Of course, it was that piece.
The spot is going to disrupt Silver with Scientist, be it Wakanda with Wakanda or not. You're gonna need a Wakanda because you need Chair Panther, as long as Juice is a thing.
True.
But Spot is a problem. I want people to read the spot again, and you'll know why it's a problem.
Since we saw Bedlam, I was really surprised we didn't get a Meridius, but I guess he could be slapped kind of anywhere, but it just felt right at home with Spider-Man since we got Bedlam as the B-side to Venom, so I was like, well, I guess not. Not this time anyway.
At least you know those characters are on the radar. He could even be honestly an LE.
That is true. He could just be an LE. That is very true. So.
What is it? Red Goblin. That guy has such a cool sculpt,
Yes.
but an unplayable dial. That is a piece that needs a legacy card.
Yeah, because his stats are really good, and he does have special powers.
If he
and it'd be awesome for them to change them similar to the Beyond Amazing Carnage chases to tie into them with the healing and everything. I think that would have been perfect. So yeah, there's your last 2 legacy cards for the set: Goblin King and Red Goblin. Let's get it.
Man, I'd be so happy the Goblin King legacy card.
That would be cool. Yeah, I will admit that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they would do with him to make him different, but it would be interesting to see what they do with him.
I think you can look at the Spider-Man and the other chases, so he'd be able to do the one-shots.
Oh yeah, that would be cool. That would actually.
And then
be
probably
cool,
start the game with an Infinity Gauntlet token like Spider-Man in that set. So I think there's a lot of fun that you could do, especially with the one-shot Infinity Gems.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
To make him feel different.
Because I just don't want a carbon copy, I guess, is the thing. So.
Yeah.
Pete, did you want to add anything?
No, I'm good. You guys covered it.
All right. Stargate Thought of the Week. Bill and Ted Iconics with the interactive terrain idea being the phone booth and map. The map is divided into each of the time periods they visit, and a phone booth can be power places character in a different time period on the map. The opposite side of the map is the Circle K with the map bonus and getting a Rufus bystander. After all, strange things are afoot at the Circle K. I think Garrett's mind is just like always cooking, but that is a very cool idea. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
And to follow up last week's Jurassic Park thoughts, Pete had a great idea that Dennis Nedry should be a sideline active character. Sideline active, hacker crap, once per game. When a finalized attack roll would hit, Dennis Nedry says the player may choose to have that attack re-rolled. We saw something like that with War Machine. I think that's or no, he doesn't go to the sideline though. He stays on the.
No, like this sounds perfect for a chase booster bystander.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
I like both the ideas, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
McConnell Lamar, good day, gents. It feels like we are getting an avalanche of product now in the next few weeks. Good thing, bad thing, everything bad thing.
I think you answered it right there. Everything bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I'm falling.
Now, it seems like the
That's-
shipping delays are finally catching up, so I think we can expect more things to release on the original dates. So overall, I think it's a good thing.
If the options are good thing, bad thing, or everything bad thing, it's always everything bad thing. But it is what it is. My wallet's gonna hurt, but we'll survive it.
And my wallet's gonna cry from now until Lantern Legacy. So I'm just like, oh,
It's going to get expensive. It seems that equipment is mostly skewed towards offense. Do you think we need more defensive equipment, and what would they do? I'd like to see more things that prevent like just taking obscene amounts of damage in a turn from either just like one specific character. I think that would be a good way to shut that off. Just turning off, I don't know, like positive modifiers to damage or something like that. I also really like the shields from Disney Plus too, just giving the combat reflexes, or if you already had it, making it +3 instead, or the ESD, the defend, all those things I think are really good ways to do those.
Yeah, I think it's harder to really get good equipment that's defensive because the good defensive equipment is really easy to make abusable.
yeah.
Like if you have an equipment that gives out Mastermind, like that becomes a must play, and it's just very abusable, and so it's really hard. And so I feel like it's a little bit easier to do the offensive thing, but I like exactly what you're saying. Something similar to Kale. If you have an equipment that does something similar to Kale, so that way you don't have to play Kale, but you can still get that effect from a character. Even making it a 20-point object, I think would be fine. That they're not able to positively replace or modify their values, I think would be a great 20-point object. Because you're going to get value for it, even though it's 20 points.
We are technically getting the Destroyer armor in Smash and Destroy, so that will be a little bit more of a defensive equipment because you will be getting reducers. If that's, I don't know if that's exactly what he's getting at, but that is one form of defensive equipment we'll be getting. So,
yeah.
Is there anything else that you would like to see be defensive equipment though, or something that was more defensive?
Man, that's tough because I'd have to really give that some thought, honestly. Just because like off the top of my head, I don't have anything immediate that I can think of that's like, oh, what's a good defensive thing that's in comics.
We do
like
have
the-
motorcycle. I mean,
Yeah.
we do have similar stuff, super senses and stuff.
and
So I
reflexes.
guess maybe,
yeah. So there is that. Yeah.
I guess both cycles are actually defensive.
Mhm.
They
Potentially
do a little bit
defensive
of both,
objects.
yeah, but they're 15 points.
Yeah.
But do you think we need more defensive equipment, or do you think it's fine where it's at and just keep focusing on offensive?
No, because there should be a balance to the game. It should be pretty balanced between offense and defense because you don't want it to where it's like, oh, if you don't go first and you're not getting that alpha off, you lose, right? So I want there to be a balance between offense and defense. So, and with how much offense we got in this set, it wouldn't be bad to have some defensive equipment come out.
As long as they're not from chase boosters, because right now we only have one equipment that has a reducer, and it's in a chase booster, which is
Yeah.
toughness.
Mhm.
Because I think that's one thing that we don't have. In silver, we had it, and they were both modern at the same time. Was the golden armor and then the stones of Merlin
Yep.
Yeah.
to give out
And they were-
those
and they
two.
were temporaries, I
So
think.
yeah.
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 Reducers would be nice too.
hmm
And I know there's a head that's coming out in Spider-Verse that
Mhm.
gives Mastermind. You don't get to just equip it. Do you think Mastermind is too strong of a power to just give out like that?
Oh yeah, it's too abusable. I mean,
Right.
look at you can play that would allow you to, for instance, give Colossus. You're like, oh, I want to be more offensive, but now you're gonna give him Mastermind. Hadari Yao. You're like, okay, I can give her Pulse Wave, but then I can now build her to be defensive,
Yeah.
Well, so
and so
you
you're gonna
can't
give her Mastermind.
attach the thing.
No. Yeah, you have
You're
to. Yeah,
holding the dude's head.
No, that's what I'm saying. I know
basically.
there's something with Mastermind coming out, but you can't just equip
Yeah.
it.
You have to
but
play
do you
him.
think that
It's-
Yeah.
having that be something would be too much? I think we
It's-
all agree that it would, right?
Yeah, it's a very
yeah,
tough.
that
That power specifically is very strong. So like,
yeah, and
giving
very
that out
abusable.
is tough. But you have to play Silvermane to get it, so it's like,
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine with Silvermane. No, I was looking at
Yeah.
his points. He's 60 points.
yeah,
So he luckily got past the threshold of abuse in silver because if
Mhm.
his 50 points, then
Oh,
all of
yeah.
a sudden Avengers swap becomes a huge issue.
Or you just butterfly him too, yeah.
Yeah.
Pete, what were you gonna say?
No, I think you should. I agree with Dan. I think you should have defensive stuff too. I just think it's the ebbs and flow of the modern cycle. So sometimes it's a more defensive game, sometimes it's a more offensive game.
Okay.
But the shields were a great example.
Yeah, just simple ones that just give up power, I think is good. Just lean in a little bit more or fill in the gap of what that character needed for low points. I like. I'm still going through the process of organizing my hero clicks, moving from theme sorted to set sorted, aka hell. It is so hard to let go of older figures in the world of legacy cards. What do you suggest? I suggest not letting them go and just storing them in a nice box and never selling them.
That's right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
The rules of Redmond are own one of everything and never sell anything.
If you don't have more than one of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're feeling bad and you're not playing them, I believe that you're in an area that's pretty decent with HeroClix players. Do monthly games that allows you to play those old figures.
Yeah.
So to get used to those figures.
There's some options.
I strive for somewhere in the middle of those two extremes. So I collect what I like, but I try to hold. I usually hold, like, if it's a figure I enjoy and like stuff like that, I pretty much tend to hold on to them. So, and then you just kind of hope and cross your fingers that it might get a legacy card someday. So,
Pete,
I mean, with our monthly and with the silver format, official WizKids format silver,
yeah,
and I don't get rid of anything. And to be quite honest, McConnell, I don't trade because I hate shipping stuff. So if you've ever gotten me to ship you anything, it had to be something I really wanted. Unless you're Miles, I ship Miles stuff. But yeah, that's basically it. If my local playgroup will tell you, I am well known for not being willing to package something up and ship it somewhere.
All right, then Alec Muser. I was going to ask a question, but Wes asked every question in existence, so hope y'all are doing well.
Thanks, Alec.
Thanks, Alec.
Yeah.
Hope to see you at an event soon.
I've been play testing with him and we're really working on getting that Blue Beetle team ready to go for his Icy. So I'm feeling confident, and I can't wait to read his team at the top of his Icy.
Awesome. Yeah, he needs a good showing.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see Blue
Miles,
Beetle on more teams.
Where is he out of?
What was that?
Where is he out of?
Oh, I forgot.
Oh, okay. All right. I guess I'll just wait for the.
I think Illinois.
Oh, really?
Around that area, right? I think.
I didn't realize he was that close. Okay.
I
believe that he's around. Yeah,
but
around
he's
there.
not. I don't think he's in Illinois though.
You know how you find
No,
this
it's
out?
around there. Yeah.
Somebody gets on their phone and messages him and asks him.
I'll just
Not
check.
guessing
on the
I'm just gonna
podcast,
check
right?
on Facebook.
I should probably do that.
We could also play Where in the World is Carmen San Diego or
Where
Alec
in the
Muser
world?
too, which is fine.
Alec Muser.
I think it's
Yeah.
Indiana. So he's pretty close to us.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing we'll at least see him at Adepticon. Not sure if he's going to Champion Clicks though. Rob Peterson, I just wanted to wish a happy birthday to Daniel Schwab.
Appreciate it, Rob. Thank you.
Brandon Hogan, not Collector's Trove related. Can we say Gaia's name correctly? It's pronounced J. So I actually looked at this and I Googled it, and it's pronounced Gia when it's spelt like that. So
Yeah.
I will meet you halfway and we can call her Gaia.
So yeah, he messaged
That
me
sounds like
because he had I think like an ex-girlfriend or a friend named Jaya, and that's more of like an American pronunciation. Like it's one of those real weird words. Greek mythology, like with Percy Jackson, they call it Gaia. Captain Planet, Gaia. So I think meeting in the middle is really good.
At Gaia.
We have
Yeah.
Miles is our official enunciation person on the podcast. He's the one that helped us figure it out. Ulysses.
It's not me.
Ulysses.
and
We also have another pronunciation that was, I believe, first heard on Critical Clicks with Scott Crampton, Gaia. So there's a fourth way. So we
There's
can.
also that.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple different versions I've heard people call her.
I would offer Giaea.
But yeah, I'm a huge into Greek mythology. I'm gonna name my daughter Persephone, and people mispronounce her name Persephone. So I understand.
Wow. Oh man, I'd be.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
I would not take that well.
You know?
Had that have been me, and I heard that.
Well, no, then it's always it goes Persephone, and I'm like, all right. So really, okay.
And then we have Damian Davis. Team build advice. What do you guys think about my team build? Do you have any suggestions to improve on it? Trying to build a defensive shell team. So this is unthemed with Colossus, Hawkeye and Hawkeye, King Jefferson, Mern, Poison Ivy, Avatar of Towerette, and Timebreaker.
Sure, with Hawkeye. I don't know if I can count that as straight up defense.
Well, it's still like
offense there.
Yeah, still some offense, but the Colossus with the 20, King Jefferson with the 19.
So the main problem with a defensive shell currently in Modern is that you're going to be looking at a lot of the attackers and what their attacks are. And so like Kong, for instance, at 50 points at 12 attack. And so he only needs a 7. That's without any perplex. I'm not quite sure the defensive shell is really there anymore because they're upping attacks so high. So I see that you did bring in some offense, getting the Timebreaker out there for Hawkeye and Hawkeye to be able to get placed. It's going to be tough. Like it's going to be very matchup dependent, and so hopefully you're able to go up against certain matchups. The traffic barrel's a decent way, but a defensive shell with no way of doing barrier, I think, is not really good for that. I think that if you're going to do defensive shell, you're going to want a barrier.
You have Ivy.
Ivy barriers.
Oh, I was thinking that was a totally different Ivy. Never mind.
It's the Herald Ivy.
Yeah, the Herald Ivy.
I think one of my favorite things to do is Legacy Daredevil with the nifty traffic barrel. So he already has the nifty traffic barrel. So I would try to get a couple of the Legacy Daredevils on here just to help. If you're looking at defense, like that's a perfect way to slow somebody down from getting you, especially Kongs if they're not already adjacent.
And if you're going to play a defensive shell team, this is one time where I'm going to recommend you don't play bunker. I think that, and the reason why is I think that the better map to play a defensive shell with barrel is going to be Bloodstone Maze, because you're going to stop people from flying over there. So it's essentially an indoor map, because that means Kong can't even go through it.
Yeah, it's very tough if you place it. Like I was able to place Daredevil in the middle of the map basically, and all of the 2x2s just had such a struggle to get anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I like King Jefferson, and that's obviously why the Timebreaker's there also. But I'm not sure if he's the best for this build. You already have.
He's going for the defend. That's why he's doing the defensive shell, is to try and get that 19 defend.
You need more Jennifer Gale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you're they have Mern, so if you're close, Mern is just like, all right, no stat mods, so.
Yeah.
But I think you can just kind of leave Colossus more up front. Again, he's got the traffic barrel, so.
But this is where it comes into play, is when you're thinking of like how it's when you're trying to build like what it loses to. So you're gonna go, and so that's obviously this can be a fringe build, even though you're using like top tier pieces. And so you're gonna want to look at like teams that are winning and like how are you gonna confront that. And so your team is built to be in a circle. Hidari Yao loves people in a circle. So.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And she
can easily
shoot outside of Mern's range, and then she's just obliterating things.
Yep, she just triple targets, and then just drops like a 2 dangerous, or she drops a big arrow, and so now everyone's gonna be taking 3 from that. And this is without the universal weapon. The universal weapon in Hidari Yao just kills that team in 1 turn.
What would your guys' suggestions be as far as like tweaking it?
Deployment. I'd like to see more deployment on it. I do understand what the King Jefferson is. He's doing the defend, but I think deployment's going to be a real issue, because you want to be able to get Colossus up there too, because this is just like, okay, come at me. And I'm just not sure that's going to the full defensive team is going to go in there, especially when you don't have Death Metal Wonder Woman, who I think if you're going to do a defensive shell team, I think with Prime Colossus, I think you need Death Metal Wonder Woman on there to make sure you're able to bring something back.
Yeah, I honestly feel like defensive is more withering things like with Death Metal or Panther right now than
Mhm.
just than high defense. I think
Yeah, and so
I think high defense is always tough because like or attack values have always just been able to skyrocket. Even post Porter World, like you're still swinging with at least 13s. I feel like a lot of the time.
Yeah. So like for instance, what you have, if you're going to do that defensive shell, I actually think that even with Jefferson, I don't think that he's the play, or Colossus. I think that Prime Panther is the call, and then you bring Kong over what's her name, Jefferson, and so that's going to leave you 5 points and just give the Bucky's arm, since there's no longsword at the moment.
If you really want to do Colossus, I think Death Metal is better because that allows him to be. You can throw him up there. Obviously, he's still going to be hard to hit initially, but at least gives him. He's not going to die the first time. So, and that's pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as a defensive shell, I was starting to look at Colossus as maybe being the odd man out, and I do like the Black Panther that Miles mentioned. How are you making that work, though? What are you taking off?
That's what you take off Colossus and Jefferson, and bring in Kong and Prime Panther, or you just go all in the Don't Die team, and instead of Kong, you bring in Death Metal Wonder Woman, and so now your Prime Panther is going to be a 4 through 6 census. You're going to be able to copy Death Metal Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Okay.
If you really want to go Colossus, I think Death Metal is the play though, and I think you could just do her off the. I think honestly, Colossus and Butterfly are a good combo because then you can just Butterfly into Death Metal. So.
Mm-hmm.
Does Hawkeye stay?
Yes, you can just replace him. Yeah. I think Hawkeye stays. I like him as an attacker.
Yeah.
He does die pretty easily, but I see what he's trying to do, and so he's trying to do a defensive shell team that's going to have a lot of close attackers, and so that's why I think Panther and Butterflies, you can bring Death Metal Wonder Woman. You could actually take out probably Myrn and bring in Death Metal Wonder Woman main force, and so that way you're able to bring in Myrn or whoever you want.
I'm trying not to just completely change it, because a big part of this is like the 19 defend, and then if they come in, Myrn's able to stop the attack modifiers.
No, but the problem is that there's just too high of attacks right now, especially with characters that are going to be doing from range, and so that's what I'm saying. Like with Hadari Yao, still going to be your 13 attack. Kong's still going to be a 12 and only needs a 7 with that defend. I think if they don't die with Death Metal Wonder Woman, I like the Hawkeye and Hawkeye because it gives him another option for he's able to attack through range, and so he has the Myrn for that.
Right. I think that trick arrows is another thing that you just need though with Hawkeye and Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's 2 or 3 ideas that are kind of in one team, and you have to just decide on what way you want to go with it.
Yeah.
And then Ivy potentially might be another odd man out, and so.
But
I think you're looking at 105 points.
We just said that we need barrier on the defensive shell team, and that was like a good way to get it. But I agree with you. Yeah,
that's a defensive shell. Yeah. And the reason why is because you're changing it from a defensive shell team into a don't die team. And so with a don't die team, the barrier is not going to be as needed as a defensive shell.
Yeah. So you can kind of argue that you can get rid of her then, I guess. But that does lose the free Avatar of Tower Red on her too. So there's something there.
Yeah.
No, I get that. But if I was looking at the top 20 meta pieces in Modern right now, and I tried to parse it down to the attackers. So we have Kong, Hadari Yao, Colossus, Black Panther Prime, Man Thing, Diana, and 048 Ghost Rider. They're minimum 11s. A lot of them are 12s. So like you're automatically starting out high on the attack value. So that's on Jefferson's 19. That's a 7. That's an average attack roll. So with at least a prob, you're probably hitting.
Yeah, 19s just aren't as good as they used to be, sadly.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to at least try to numbers game that out a little bit. I
think Jefferson works best as a Jefferson bomb with the Diana,
to be able to place him after you've killed some of your time breakers.
Or the
I think
Flash
that's where he works best. Yeah, with the Flash Raptor.
Because you can
He
also
works
just
good
go
with Pogs too that you don't care about.
Mm-hmm.
Or can regenerate.
I mean, I like what he's doing. If he's gonna stick with that team, I think you need to play it on Bloodstone Maze. See how it goes. I think Hawkeye and Hawkeye is perfect. Joe Alves has already shown that Hawkeye and Hawkeye can win on Unthemed. He is the premier Hawkeye and Hawkeye player, so he does want that range. He is a little squishy, but I definitely agree he does need trick arrows, and so that's why if you replaced, even if you want to just keep Colossus, if you replaced Jefferson with Death Metal Wonder Woman, you get those trick arrows, and so you're still a defensive shell team because you're a don't die.
Yeah.
Like shell team that's together, and you're able to get that full map offense with Hawkeye and Hawkeye and the trick arrow drop.
Right. All right. Hope that helps, Damien. Ryan Bookwood, local tryhard. After playing against 300-point Thanos common in sealed, I can say without doubt that having a piece at the power level as a common is a huge mistake. I think we pulled at least 5 to 7 last night, and some people pulled 2, while some people pulled none. Do you think something on that level should be reserved for at least a rare or higher? At least Darkseid was a harder to pull super rare for Masters of Time and balanced it out a bit. Also, do you foresee this becoming an issue in Pulp? I think there are fewer answers for him in Pulp, but not too much. I think he's just, we kind of touched on this, right? Like, I think he probably would have been fine as a rare, but making a common was just a mistake. But Pulp needs pieces.
I think
like
uncommon.
At least an uncommon.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't. I think him with Ares, I think is just an easy answer in Pulp. And then every answer that you have for him, like that Amadeus Cho, he just dies. And all you need to do is choose a deity figure with stealth. And even if he's adjacent, he doesn't have line of fire because that whole entire thing is still going to be blocked.
So you think he's too strong for Pulp?
Stealth only works against non-adjacent targets, so if Amadeus Cho bases him, he can outwit him.
Oh, yeah, it's not. Yeah. So, yes, we can choose that. So he's going to have to go all the way adjacent to Thanos to even be able to shut him off. And then Thanos pretty much has full map reach because they're going to have to come at you. And he has giant reach 3 because of Colossal, and he has 10 speed. So hypersonic speed. And so now with a 14 attack precision strike, so now you just choose Blades, for instance, with Ares. And he's going to do that Blades bomb on a team. Minimum 4. Like you're going to be stuck with either playing, this is the whole entire thing with the problem where Thanos was running modern. You either play Thanos or you play to beat Thanos. There's not going to be any room for teams in the middle. And I'm not sure if there's really any teams that can beat Thanos. Because if Thanos gets that attack off first, I just don't see really a lot of figures that can, or teams that are going to be able to really last through that. Like that Guardians of the Galaxy team that we were talking about during the set review.
Yeah.
What is that going to do?
Yeah.
Die.
Nothing.
Because he's got 3 bolts too, doesn't he? With precision
3
strike.
bolts.
Yeah. So like that Groot full map that's gonna be able to do 5 damage. He's an 11 attack. You can perplex him up maybe once, so he'll be a 12. He needs an 8 to hit Thanos.
Well, yeah, and he's only hitting him once, so.
Yeah, and that's your alpha. Max 3 damage, and then there's plenty of DD and cosmic figures with regeneration. All right, we're just gonna go ahead and choose free regen. Just now we're gonna go ahead and just power action regen. All right, your turn. And so now it's just a game of attrition at that point, because then all he has to do is he can just then kill, what's his name, Groot, and then who are you gonna send out? Yeah, he just destroys.
What if he wasn't a Colossal? Would that change it? Not
Well, that would
good.
change
I think it would change it a little bit. But yeah, the giving him that giant reach 3 with the Ares bomb. Yeah.
The biggest thing is that the Ares bomb, that's bullshit. Whatever. But if he clicks 3 times, he's a 19 impervious, and then you're able to take him out with penetrating damage.
It's just
potentially. It's potentially because he's able to choose a power. He can choose invincible. So now he's going to have a rollout with Invincible. He can choose Regen. He can choose Steel Energy. You know, like on his charge clicks or even his hypersonic clicks, if like let's say you only do 1 or 2 damage, he can choose Steel Energy. And so now he's going to come at you and just do Steel Energy. If you're close to him, he has Giant Reach 3, so that's going to even help his charge too. Like you can choose Steel Energy.
Is there a pulp? There probably is with those things.
Oh yeah, yeah. So Steel Energy, very easy to get.
I meant and
and for Cosmic and Deity. Invincible, yeah. There's the Cosmic Rider.
Okay.
Yep. Or you can just play another Thanos on the sideline.
No, you can't because that's Highlander.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. It is Highlander. You're right. Sorry.
So you put Cosmic Rider. You put Ares because like that's the one thing that sucks now is that Ares has deities, so he can choose blades from Ares. And there's other deities with blades, and so now he's able to do the Ares bomb because normally he's not because he doesn't have blades anywhere on his dial.
Right.
But now he's able to choose blades and now do the Giant Reach 3, which I don't know if the design team, you know, whenever they're if they're playtesting it, if they test, oh, let's do this. I don't know how that works, but the moment I saw him, instantly I'm like, boom, oh my god, he does this Ares bomb and Pulp's done.
Yeah. That kind of puts it over the top, honestly.
Yeah.
All right. Then we have Bill DeRocaire. There's an equipment now that gives out team player barf, but it is also a question. I think it's 5 points.
Right? That's not my issues with it, but yeah.
What is your issue with it?
It's in a hard to get thing with the chase boosters.
Yeah.
So now it's like a must own thing, and so now I've had a few people message me saying, "Oh my god, I need that." I'm willing to pay $200 for that. That's just like, are you serious?
Yeah.
So now this equipment's gonna be $200 for essentially. I know people, it's not a bystander. It's a bystander in the HeroClix terms because it's just a POG. So it's a POG equipment for $200.
On the plus side,
that's gonna be the most expensive piece in this set. Is a chase booster bystander. Insane.
Which is really funny because I don't know if team player is that like nuts. Like that's fine, but I just don't see it being.
So there's a lot of things that you can. So there's a lot of characters that are gonna have super senses, but you're like, man, I wish I could get that 4/6 from Death Metal Wonder Woman, you know, or Spider-Man.
Well, the biggest thing is one with Wonder Woman or Spider-Man, and then you give him the other one.
Yeah.
So now
and there's also like with Ivy. Yeah, Ivy and Batman Enemy. So now you're able to share those. Sinister Syndicate. Now you're able to share those attack values.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of use for team player.
I know
if only this figure had stealth, you know. And so you're, yeah, it's team player for 5 points is insane.
Now they did show that there's going to be 3 bystanders in a booster instead of the one that was in, what was it, Black Panther? Was it Black Panther? There was just one?
Yeah.
No, there's more.
Two. There's two.
Two in Panther.
Yeah, there's the armor
Trove.
and
Collector's Trove only
one?
one?
Yeah, Collector's Trove was 2. No, there was 2 there.
I thought they went down to 1 in one of them. You sure?
Did Porter get 1 or 2 chase boosters?
He got like 2 or 3. He opened 1 on stream and then 1 on his videos and 2 at home.
Okay, well, there's only 2 bystanders shown. It was Charlie 27 and then the Etheron armor.
So maybe it was. I thought it was just 1 per booster, is what I saw.
Yeah. So, and so now, this bystander that's going to be equipment that's $200. Like really, I think it's easy fix. You have legacy cards. There's plate home kits. Make them random. Put them in the little sleeve that you have the legacy cards in. People will buy those plate home kits. You can still do the chase boosters with the bystanders, but if you give people another way to get them outside of that, I think that will be you'll get a lot less backlash from it.
Yeah.
Put them in the boosters. Nothing in the set everything that's in the set should be available in the blind boosters.
No, because with how few there are, now the argument comes they banned Brock's bunker at Worlds because not enough people had it.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, there's more. There were more Brock's bunkers than Weasels, but yet Weasels were allowed to be played at Worlds.
As someone that just acquired a joined Pog,
I'm sure that there's not that many of these out there, and I couldn't imagine if some like this piece just might get banned because it's like, well, there's only like 30 people that have this thing. So
Yeah, there's less there was less of the bystanders than there were bunkers map, and yet bunkers map was a problem because it wasn't really available to everybody.
Yeah.
Yet these bystanders are okay.
I think if you're gonna make stuff like this, you just have to make it super accessible.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's 5 points for it. I don't know if that's too low. In my mind, I think it might be a little bit
Probably.
considering what team player can do for 5 points.
Mhm.
But I don't have a huge problem with it in general. I just have a problem with that access to it. And if you're gonna literally change the worlds type of thing with one of the most important maps at the time in Brock's Bunker because it's not accessible, then stuff like this needs to really be looked at.
Well, look at
It's
Prime
not
Colossus.
accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to play a Prime Colossus that can't be hit? You give him motorcycle, or not even need to give him motorcycle, but you can just essentially give him senses with team player, and then you also have that Miles Morales that gives him Spider-Man. So now if you're able to copy the Wonder Woman, you're now just a regular super senses. Yeah, there's going to be there's a lot of ways to abuse this $5.200 right now. I'm waiting to see it being sold. I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be like a Kevin, where it's $400 because you know how, like this blows Weasel out of the water.
Yeah. We will have to see
How many
how
are you
it
going to
plays
get?
out.
You get 3 of them.
Are they? Oh,
He's
yeah,
gonna need it.
not a unique.
He's gonna.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's gonna need at least 3 of them.
No. I honestly, as a completionist, I don't even try to get all these things because it's just ridiculous. They're too hard to acquire them. All right, last we have Jeff Dumas. What are the sleeper picks and what looks good but isn't actually worth the trouble in sealed? Just a couple notes from like what I saw. Cosmo giving protected outwit to Guardians of the Galaxy was pretty big in numerous games. I like Giant Man. He's either smacking someone with super strength or he can soak up some damage. He could also be your TK piece, so I think you're happy pulling him in sealed. Whereas that's not really a piece that I would have looked at anywhere else. And then Yandu with the Yaka arrow, he is awesome, but he just can't do all the work by himself. But if you have anything else going on your team, I think that's a really good pull. And then just the more Guardians of the Galaxy, you can easily just make a team if you pull the Guardians of the Galaxy. There's a theme booster, right, for that?
Yes.
You can pull a theme booster. Yep.
Yeah, so I mean that's the Guardians of the Galaxy get really good really quick in pulp. So if you can put that together, that'd be great too. And then obviously we have talked about Thanos, so he's good.
Here's my advice: just pull a Thanos.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to common. It's a common, so it's nice when everybody else has it except for 2 people. You know, that's just, you have 8 people show up, 6 people pull Thanos. Oh.
All right, do you guys want to add anything else to that? No.
In sealed.
Yeah. So any other notes from sealed about picks?
How the Kree was really, really good. Not the Accuser, the other one was really big. She's really pretty good. The Kree Accuser for 25 points, sidestep, precision strike, ESD toughness, and enhancement. Like, she was huge on a lot of teams, especially if you're going to go with a range heavy team, which most of the time in sealed you'll try to do if you can. She is a great 25 points, and that 1,000 Years of Kree Vengeance comes up big. So.
Yeah, some of the support pieces in the set are good. I mean, obviously the Shield Agent is good too. So.
Yeah, I didn't actually come across him, but he looks like he's gonna be great.
Kree Soldier is also not to be slept on. So.
Or if you're Dan, you just pull all the super rares that you want and a chase.
That's true. That's a good. Just go do that. Just do that.
Yeah, go that route.
Pete, how often have I done that?
Well, recently a lot.
Okay. Well, yeah, recently, I'm pretty sure the last like 6 sets before this was, hey, I pulled 2 rares, let's go.
No one will ever have a worse sealed than War of the Realms for me. When I actually pulled a super rare and nothing on my team had move and attack but a puck.
That was next phase, wasn't it?
No, that was War of the Realms. My next phase was slightly better. Just once you killed one piece, I was screwed. But War of the Realms was so bad. And somebody looked at me and said, "Well, you got a super rare," and I just stared at him as they're just.
Well, you know what's
destroying my
worse
team.
than pulling 2 rares is pulling 2 rares and losing to a common.
That's rough.
Guess you should have just pulled the common.
Or pulling,
Yeah, there you go.
pulling 2 super rares and losing to a common is pretty rough too.
Yeah, I had that on Sunday. That was pretty rough.
All right, final thoughts, guys. Miles, what do you got?
I love the fact that we now have a Lex Luger of HeroClix with Jeremy. I love that. I will never forget it, and I'm listening to "I'll Be Your Hero" every day. 1993 push-ups. The reason why that is because it happened in 1993. So, yeah.
Dan?
I'm really excited for King of New Orleans. This is gonna be a fun weekend. So I'm gonna be real tired by Monday night when I'm trying to do our second set of or like our release day event or what. I'm gonna be dragging by that.
It's gonna be a lot of clicks in 3 days. Pete, any final thoughts?
This group could take the show 60 minutes and make it go for 3.5 hours. Like we're just unbelievably committed to the excellence that we provide the public. You guys have fun in New Orleans.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yes.
I'll be cheering for you.
Yeah, I'm excited for the King of New Orleans this weekend. Excited to smash Kenny Minks. So we hope to see people out there. If anyone wants to stop by and say hi, please do. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for ya!
Click it!
Cause I'm so